We're live. I'm gonna turn on the background music on the stream so then it's not completely silent. For the viewers, you won't be able to hear it, but if you're on the stream, you can.
Ah, okay.
Did you want the link again? I don't know if this is a VOD you'll probably watch since this might just be videos today.
Screen share is good. I subscribe to you, so I should be able to access it after.
Okay.
Okay, I feel like normal is better for my dashing. But why did it feel like that? What I'm really struggling with right now is downward angled forward tilt.
Downward angle. Oh yeah, because if you're using the right stick.
Okay,
hey,
I'm nailing it.
Starstruck. Oh my gosh, you came like frame one. welcome back, Starstruck. How you doing tonight?
Bodes well for the evening.
Yep, I'm joined back with Morbius. Today is probably gonna be more of a casual day because like after our asses got beat yesterday, we need to relax. Also, Morbius did attend a tourney, which we were both supposed to be in, but only one of us got to attend because I overslept. And he placed, what place was it?
I actually didn't check my own placement.
I can check it for you then. Let me go to the Super Major app.
That's fine.
We'll see where you placed at.
I advanced on DQ round 1, and then round 2 I lost to a Donkey Kong player that ended up finishing 4th, and then in losers I got eliminated by
17th out of 22 people.
17. Okay, yeah. I'm probably at the top of the people that went 0-2, given my circumstances, because both people were top 10 that beat me. So yeah, not my best outing, but all games were tight, and those people, whoever they are, ended up finishing pretty strongly, so I'm not too disappointed.
I mean, that was amateurs. It's not like I was strictly trying to look for amateur tournaments. I was just trying to find any online tournaments we could just attend.
I mean, I've been looking too, so I really appreciate that you found that, because I hadn't had a lot of success.
Yeah. I just kind of went on the website and then just looked. I wish I could find like more local tourneys that are like happening in our area, because then we could use that as an excuse, and then eventually we could
let's go.
Hey, Fishy, welcome. I don't know if we're going to be playing today, or I should say more strictly me, because I think Morbius is already on the game, but we're going to be watching videos today to educate ourselves further in the art of Smash.
Yeah, for the record, I'm willing to play today, so noted. Yeah. Stay tuned. We may play later.
Possible. I already told Morbius that it can happen, but I'm not going to give any guarantees because I don't want to make any false promises.
Completely valid.
I just realized, Starstruck, your profile picture is the Persona 3 MC. Massive respect. I love it. Love to see it. I'm not going to be able to stick around for these streams for long since, like, school. Yeah. It's a good thing I don't got to go to that no more.
Same.
Yeah.
I respect the grind, though.
Yeah, I went to school because I was forced to. I mean, everyone's forced to at a young age. And then you get to choose willingly if you want to go to college, which I also did that, too. I'm good. No more school. If I want to go to school, I'll school myself. It's fine. Homeschooling is the best schooling. Your profile pic has been like this for God knows how long. Dude, I only now noticed because here's the thing. Let me educate you for a second. I don't get to see your profile picture when I'm looking at chat because I have this like application that shows combined chat of Twitch and YouTube. So unless I'm directly looking like integrated YouTube chat, I actually can't see your profile picture. I've only noticed it now because I am looking at YouTube chat currently on my screen. Alright, we'll be starting in less than 20 seconds.
Ready to get educated today.
Yep, you're not gonna get distracted, are you? I feel like you might have that ADHD effect, but we'll try to watch the video and then you'll just be playing Smash in the background. Be like, Morbius, wake up!
No, I'm not playing. I'm testing different stick sensitivities with a punching bag in the control settings, so I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just screwing around because I think this might be placebo.
Makoto Yuki is the best pro tag, man. Changed my mind. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, this video is Learn How to DI, Directional Influence, SDI. I literally know Fishy talked about this yesterday, but I already forgot what SDI means.
I recognize these abbreviations, it's just I forget what exactly each one is.
Yeah. Alright, can you see it okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
Alright, let me adjust something on the stream real quick. There we go. Okay.
DI, LSI, SDI. The Smash community.
Wait, hold on. He already like started out where I could see all that. So like,
yeah, can we get a freeze frame on there?
Yeah. DI. Okay, DI. Well, we know it's directional influence, also known officially as launch shuffling. I did not know that.
Never heard it called that.
Nope.
LS.
All right, LSI.
Let's go. Mario in the example. Hype.
Yeah. Let's see. Mario's up smash DI'd left. Note the blue streak pointing along the final trajectory. Okay. And then Mario's up smash SDI right. Oh, I see the difference. Yeah.
SI.
I still don't know what that means. LSI though.
SDI.
Smash directional influence. Okay, that's what SDI means. All right.
The Smash community loves to use a bunch of fancy acronyms and customized terms for advanced techniques. In this video, we'll be explaining much more than what these terms stand for, but also
all these terms I'm not remembering. That's a good start.
If you guys want to master even more than these techniques, make sure you head on over to ProGuides.com, where you can find all kinds of competitive gaming resources, such as our Play with Pros platform, which gives you instant access to top coaches in the game of your choice, and our Pro Pass feature, which offers additional daily content and free access to coaching. Anyway, what do these Smash terms mean? Well, the common letter in all three acronyms is I, and in each case, it stands for influence. That's because all three of these are means of influencing your knockback in one way or another. Let's start with DI. DI stands for directional influence, which is your ability to influence the angle of your knockback. Anytime you get hit by an attack, there is a window of possible angles that the move can send you in, which varies with each specific attack. By holding the left stick in a direction, you can adjust which of these angles your character is launched in. The DI input from your left stick is registered on the last frame of hit latch, so right before you get launched. DI has a myriad of uses, but we first need to understand LSI as well, as these techniques work in conjunction. LSI stands for Launch Speed Influence. This is your ability to influence the speed of your knockback, and thus its distance.
You said your memory's actually booty butt cheeks about remembering it. Well, hey, you can learn with us, because like I didn't know what LSI was.
This they might talk about
LSI
crouching.
Works by holding the left stick in a direction right before you are launched.
Oh,
Holding
okay.
up will give you universally more knockback and universally less knockback by holding down. The degree to which LSI increases or decreases knockback is relative to how close the left stick angle is towards directly up or down. If you have a background in Smash 4, you may remember LSI by its former name of vectoring, which was replaced with LSI for accuracy purposes. Now, let's get to the applications. Understanding the workings and mechanics of these techniques can be a bit confusing, but fortunately, there are straightforward applications. There are only two reasons for using DI and LSI: escaping combos and surviving. When
You thought they were listing diseases?
You want to move away from the opponent so it's harder for them to follow up with another attack. For example, Palutena has a kill confirmed with down throw into back air.
That's
By
what
holding away
happened to
during the
you, I'm
down
pretty
throw,
sure.
You DI to an angle straight in front of Palutena. In most matchups, this puts you too far away for her to follow up with a back air in time. In order to properly escape combos with DI and LSI, you have to be very familiar with the knockback of every move so that you can react in time and avoid the next attack. This is only possible with lots of experience, but holding away from your opponent is the right combo DI in the majority of situations. When in doubt, hold out. Stage factors are important for escaping combos too.
Man, they just had to show the ladder, didn't they, Mormons?
I was not involved in
Sometimes
making
you want
this
to
video,
DI
so
down
I
and away
trust.
so you're closer to the ground and can tech, like against Fox's Nair to up smash. There are also times when you should DI
Like, come on, I thought I heard STI instead of LSI. Star Strike, you're funny, bro.
up to avoid being in a tech chase scenario. With combo DI,
That looked like your accidental taunt when you said you felt bad. That's kind of funny.
to talk about survival DI. Contrary to combo DI, we want to reduce our knockback instead of increasing
Okay,
it
I
in
think
order
this
to
is something we
survive a
both just
KO.
do.
Knockback can have many possible angles,
Aim
but
for the
to
corner?
understand survival
Yeah.
DI, we're going to break
Yeah.
it down into 3 main possibilities: horizontal knockback, vertical knockback, and diagonal knockback. Surviving horizontal knockback is the simplest and most intuitive. When you get launched horizontally, hold the left stick in the opposite direction of your knockback. This gives you a favorable DI angle without increasing your knockback with LSI. For example, if you get hit to the right, hold left. Now, vertical knockback is a bit different. If you remember that LSI down reduces knockback, you might be thinking that holding down is the best method for surviving upwards knockback. Well, there's a small catch. LSI does not apply to specific knockback angles between 65 and 115 degrees, as well as between 245 and 295 degrees. This means that if your knockback is straight up or down, LSI will have no effect and you're left with regular DI. In order to increase survivability with regular DI, your goal is to get a knockback angle that gives you the closest trajectory straight towards the corner of the screen. This is because a diagonal line to the corner will always be
Oh,
the
hey,
farthest
Furnace.
you can
Jesus
travel
Christ.
before hitting the blast zone.
That
In
actually
Melee
jump
and
scared
Brawl,
me
this
tonight.
kind of DI was the only mechanic present for influencing knockback. But LSI changed things in Ultimate and Smash 4. So in order to DI vertical moves properly, you want to hold perpendicular to the direction of the attack.
Okay,
Most
we've done
vertical
that
moves
before.
send you slightly forward,
Yeah.
so you'll want to DI away to get the best angle. It's important, however, to be wary of the knockback angles of every attack, as some
Oh,
vertical
yeah,
hits
this
will
is
send
when
you
you just have to
backwards and
know.
you'll need to hold back.
Yeah,
For
the
example,
jank.
Fox's up smash sends you up and forward, so you DI
My up
forward to
smash
get a good
usually
angle
catches
for
you, even
survival,
if you
but
do,
Luigi's up
get a
smash
good
sends you up
SDI.
and backwards, so you'd hold
Yes,
back to
that is
survive.
true.
Finally, we have diagonal moves. This can be a bit confusing, and they tend to involve LSI the most. Since these moves will fall within the range where LSI is considered, holding down will give you maximum LSI and reduce knockback. Sometimes, though, you'll need to regular DI down and away to get a knockback angle in the LSI able range. In general, holding down and away is good for surviving diagonal moves when you're more likely to be KO'd off the top than off the side. However, if you're more in danger of dying horizontally, you can hold straight down. There's still one more type of influence we need to cover, and that's SDI. SDI stands for Smash Directional Influence, and despite the similarity in its name, it's very different from DI. SDI allows you to change your position during hit lag. In case you don't know, hit lag is the
God
period
damn
of
it,
freeze
why is it
frames you're
there?
trapped in during the time from when a move first connects to when your knockback starts. During hit lag, you can adjust your direction every frame with the left stick. The game won't read the same direction 2 frames in a row, so to SDI effectively in one direction, rotate your stick back and forth in a small arc around the direction you wish to move in. Single hit moves don't have much hit lag, and SDIing them wouldn't achieve much anyway, so this technique
Is
is
your
based
brain being overloaded starstruck? It's okay. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to dissect.
used for multi-hit attacks. If successful, SDIing
This is
will
what I was
turn
telling you about. No wonder they're showing Bayo, because, like, God, it applies the most to it. If only I could do it.
multi-hits can allow you to escape before the final hit, or at least get further away when the last hit connects, making a follow-up harder. SDI is not very strong in Smash Ultimate, but there are still a few situations where it can make a significant difference. Now that you know all about DI, you can start surviving longer and escaping combos. One combo you do not want to escape, however, is to subscribe and to bell notifications.
Alright, shut up, bro. One combo you don't want to escape. Alright. Alright, would you like to discuss that one, Morbius, or does everything make sense to you?
I would like to discuss it. This feels like one of those things that, like, when we were playing, I was like, I think I accidentally did that before, and that's the vibes I got from this video. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, Fishy, you're in the chat. Do you want to join us in the call? Because we, you could also join us so we could all talk about some Smash stuff. You know. I don't know. Maybe if I was more hardcore in Smash, I'd generally get this. Yeah, I would say you have to, like, definitely be, like, playing the game more. It's just an experience thing. Because, like, I'm trying to understand more. I would, but I'm quick playing. You're quick playing, it's okay. Alright, so out of those three, have you been making use of that, Morbius? That's what I should be asking you.
I've been doing the one where you hold down for horizontal launch instinctively, and the ones where you like go to the corner, but I didn't know about like the vertical stuff.
Yeah,
so
the
that,
vertical
that
stuff,
was
that's how
very
I like
helpful.
I survived against you a lot.
Well, now I know.
Yep. Hey, you might actually survive my up smashes more. Fuck, I gave my enemy more ammo. This is bad, guys. I don't want him to be better at the game. Newsflash, I do.
Too bad.
Alright, let's see what we got next. Oh yeah, this video also caught my attention. But first, since we have another tab open, I wanted to watch this because Fishy sent this to me. I love this channel. You Suck at Neutral. It's a great name.
It's probably true. I probably do suck at neutral.
You do literally rush in, so like I feel like you don't actually have a neutral.
In a boxing match.
Oh, there we go. I had a reset.
In a
All
boxing
good.
match, both competitors have to box. You can't use your elbows and you can't use your
I
legs.
do love that
The
it literally
matchup
gets
is
started with
boxer
boxing, which is
versus
just
boxer.
my whole thing.
In the same way, during a fencing,
Perfect.
you're using the same type of weapon. You can't use a machete, and you definitely can't
For
use
you
a
suck
gun.
at cooking.
So
What
the
do you
matchup
mean,
is
Brandon?
fencer versus fencer. But in Smash Bros, there are a wide variety of matchups.
Lock in?
Some
Alright,
characters
lock
use
in, Starstruck.
fists, Some
Oh, here
have
we go.
swords. Some can make.
Oh,
you
sword's your
grab
favorite!
some have noodle arms. Why does this matter? Well, consider the Samus versus Ken matchup. When far
Let's
away
turn
from
this up a
Ken, Samus has access to her missiles and her charge shot. And if Ken decides to try to block those projectiles, she has
Yeah, there's
access to
that.
her
God,
long-range
I've
grab.
gotten caught by that so much.
However, her options are fairly limited at a close range.
We're
with
watching
her character
videos
has
about
incredibly
Smash to
fast
educate
tilting
ourselves
specials.
more. Also, hi, Angel.
Sure, she has a tool. Her invincible up special out of shield can force Ken away from her.
I've seen
But Samus
Samus do
wouldn't
that so
offensively be
much.
using that. Instead,
Very
she would
common
use
move.
it to punish Ken and reset neutral if he wants to jump onto her shield. Comparing her tools at different ranges, Samus would strictly want to play a mid to far range game in this matchup. Ken, on the other hand, has really bad far range options. He has his Hadouken, but it's really slow and will get beaten out by most moves. One thing's for certain, Ken isn't outgunning Samus's heavy arsenal of weapons. Up close, though, is an entirely different story, with Ken's shield break setups
That's
and
such a
incredibly
good shield
safe
break.
tilts
I
up
need to do
close,
that with Ken.
combined with his insane damage output and early kill percents, he can deal large amounts of damage off of winning neutral once, and then can set up even further an advantage.
Oh, I've seen
Does
Ken
this mean
do
that the Samus-Ken matchup is even? After all, while Ken may struggle at getting in, he can blow up Samus once he lands that one hit. This is obviously not true. The most optimistic Ken mains consider the matchup even at best, while the vast majority of Ken mains consider it to be a losing matchup. Both of these characters have their strengths and weaknesses, but how do we determine a matchup to be winning or losing? Let's consider these options and see how those options convert into mind games. Let's look at Samus's charge shot, for example. There's a triangle interaction
Love
for
that
how
Street
Ken
Fighter
can
Third
deal
Strike
with it.
music in the background.
Ken can jump over the charge shot, and Samus can fair the jump. Ken can try to play reactively and attempt to punish the fair, or shield the charge shot and punish it, while Samus can hit Ken with a grab. Ken can run at Samus
The
and call
truest
out that
sense
she's
of
not
mind
going to
games.
shoot the charge shot, and Samus can just shoot the charge shot. So there we go, right? That's a three-way structure that the neutral will be built around. Now we just need to win by picking the right option. But this triangle all relies on the Samus player using her charge shot. She can use her missiles or her bombs instead, and sometimes she can just run forward and hit you for trying to play around her neutral beat. Ken, on the other hand, has no neutral tool that Samus needs to actively play around. Sure, she needs to watch out for his neutral air, but she can just do that by playing her regular game plan. We call this a mind game. Ken has to actively play around a tool that Samus is technically threatening, while Samus can just play a regular game plan to win. Ken is receiving the mind game, and Samus is initiating.
Yeah.
Instead of Ken, let's pair up Samus against
don't
Wolf
let your
and
green
see
be
how
broken.
this changes the neutral. Wolf has his reflector, so any projectile Samus throws at him is at risk of being used against her. She can no longer just play her regular zoning game, and will have to make some close-up interactions. To make things even worse, Wolf has his transcendent laser. It can't be blocked by any of Samus's projectiles, and Samus has no reflector of her own. Not only is Samus's zoning game interrupted, her approaching game is interrupted as well. These two factors directly interfere with Samus's game, while letting Wolf play his own. This means that Wolf is the one initiating the mind game, while Samus is receiving it. So while Ken is playing around Samus's charge shot, Samus has to play around Wolf's reflector and laser.
Yeah, for me,
One thing
I
that
just
you
try
should
to
also know is that the mind game does not exist if you have no idea it exists in the first place. If you keep running into your opponent's anti-air over and over, your opponent isn't godlike at anti-airing, you're just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Only once you demonstrate you know the mind game exists is when the mind game begins. On that note, how do you deal with these situations where you're the one receiving the mind game? One solution is just to pick up another character. If you want to save mental energy or your character has no positives in the matchup whatsoever, this is a pretty good idea, and is most applicable when you play a mid-tier alone.
It's a personal attack.
If you only try to counterpick, you'll eventually run into a wall with your development. So we recommend that you learn how to deal with mind games first before deciding to pick up a new character. Mind games are less about what's going on in the game and more about what's going on in your opponent's head. So instead of focusing what's going on the screen, try to understand what your opponent's habits are. How does the opponent move around? If you see them using their double jump a lot in neutral, or you see them roll in a lot, you can catch their landing or read their roll. What if the opponent likes to take a lot of risky options? If so, expect the high risk stuff more and the low risk stuff less. Does the opponent want to take less risk? If so, don't be afraid of the super risky stuff. What moves are your opponent using and how often are they using them? If your opponent is going for a lot of anti-air Samus fair and barely shoots charge shot, there's no reason to jump, instead punish the fair. Triangle interactions exist during mind games, since even though Samus doesn't have to use charge shot, she's still operating within a triangle. It's just a different one with different solutions. Understanding which set of interactions your opponent is using is your ticket to winning the mind game. Obviously, you need to know about the character's mind game for it to happen, but character resources are both obscure and also very indigestible. So like and subscribe to see good character overviews, analysis videos, and most importantly, guides to help you not suck at neutral.
Yep, that's some of it. The mind game. That's why I also love playing fighting games, because like once you actually get adept in the fighting game where like you understand everything the game has to offer, it's just messing with the other person's mind.
Pretty much, yeah. That was very good. That significantly changed my view.
That's good. You want to improve your mentality? Because look, first step to improving your mentality in Smash, we could keep following this up.
When we think about fighting games, we often focus on what's right in front of us. We use our character's tools so that one person may gain control over the other. Sometimes we'll go a bit deeper.
Yeah, I can
focus
tell.
on how players
I don't like
try to
that
gain
because I
mental
hate
control
Bayo.
over the other.
I hate Bayo in Smash.
However,
I don't hate her games.
Very few will look at how a player tries to gain mental control over themselves. Some players will approach the game in a negative manner, or some players will not give their best.
Dude, when I read that bubble, I'm pretty sure you know who I was thinking of. Oh my god. We got a guy in our other friend group who's just like so angry because he can't play around my little Mac. And that just made me think of him.
Or some players will not give their best and then not know why they're not improving. In any competitive activity,
I did tell you about this before
mentality
too, that
is a
sometimes
big
you just
deciding
need to change
factor
your
on your
mental.
skill and overall improvement as a whole. While we may not be able to change your mentality completely, we can at least describe a mentality that everyone should aspire to. There are only two things in competition that are truly under your control: your attitude and your effort. When you lose in a way that feels cheap or unfair, or when your opponent uses frustrating strategies against you, you have two general ways to process the situation. You can keep feeding into the emotions produced by that situation, thinking about how unfair or undeserved that exchange was. You might also think about how you shouldn't have gotten hit with those strategies or attacks in the first place. Or you can accept that the situation happened, and while it did suck, it's impossible to change what happened in the past, and you continue to play. Ultimately, it's up to you to either pick a joke character and sandbag, or play your main and give a real effort.
God, that fucking combo is amazing. That's what I want to be able to do with Mario.
Whether you want to make excuses about your gameplay,
You can do it.
or you can own up to your mistakes. Holding accountability for yourself is one of the most important things in competitive activities. Making excuses allows you to keep making the exact same mistakes as before. Holding yourself accountable puts you on the path to fixing those bad habits.
Yeah, I think if you
However,
fix your rolling, you're
choosing
going
to
be able to
have a
play a
good
lot better.
attitude is difficult and uncomfortable.
I do have to. I mean,
It's
I
much
didn't roll that
easier to
much
have
in
a
this
bad
tourney.
attitude because it's
That's
easy
good.
To be honest.
feel. It also-
Becoming a little Mac main. What is this picture, bro?
Targeted. You're on the
Damn.
dark side. It's over.
Oh my god, I'm just like getting outed. I bet this is how Peanut felt, but he was just like, I'm gonna still play the character anyway.
crushed ego, providing space for excuses. This, on top of change being difficult in general, makes developing a good attitude a difficult task.
I do need to figure out how to play against Bayo, because
When we
literally
think
what
about
happened last
competition,
night is what
we
happened to me
usually
at the
think
tourney
about it
last
as
year.
a way to compete against others. I mean, this makes sense. If there was nobody to compete with, then competition wouldn't exist. In competition, we often put ourselves in the traps, where we directly compare ourselves to others. While it
true.
does feel good using these comparisons to create a sense of security in our own play, comparing ourselves to others accomplishes nothing. Comparison between players can be a very difficult evaluation due to all the different factors to consider. So much so that the evaluation can become impossible. Honestly, the only thing that comparison provides is a boost in ego, or a decline in self-confidence, with neither of which creating a positive impact. There is a reason Mark Twain describes comparison as the death of joy. Instead, use competition as a way to compete against yourself. If you play with an active mind and try to implement new things, your understanding of the game will deepen. If you study the game while not playing, you may also come to some new discoveries.
I
as
did tell you this. This is literally what we're doing right now too.
Yep.
Like they're explaining
Ultimate frame
it.
data.
Yeah, I mean, Fishy started showing me that stuff, and then I love that. I love educating people about the shit box for Little Max Nair. It's so funny because I can catch people with it, but most of the time I forget I can just hit behind with that. So I need to do that more.
You might not have known that a certain option existed in the first place, and now are ready to apply it in the practice session the next day. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to the you from
That was a good
yesterday.
example you showed.
Any kind of growth will help, no matter how small. Respect isn't just to maintain good sportsmanship. It's also to maintain a good attitude. Respect the game and its design. While a game may have things that we disagree with, those disagreements should not come at the cost of holding accountability. Respect your opponent. Play your best against your opponent, and if you lose, lose gracefully. Hold yourself accountable for your losses, and acknowledge the strengths that your opponent had when they beat you. Because while it may be easy to
That was us yesterday. Their movement
was us.
was really clean. We were just like, shit. Yeah, I don't think we were like making any excuses. It's just like, shit, we just saw so many holes in how we played. I think that's just what happened.
I think most of it was
credit
just
your opponent
they're just better.
and make excuses for your losses, it becomes very easy to then stop improving as a result. Respect yourself. Holding yourself accountable is different from beating yourself up. If you see yourself make a mistake, acknowledge it and simply work to fix it. You gain nothing by dwelling on the what ifs and calling yourself names. Try your best. You gain opportunities to learn and grow. Not trying only serves to worsen your attitude and hurt yourself as a result. Do not inflate your ego. While it may feel good to be better than someone, it is also the quickest way to stagnating in growth. Believe in yourself. You've put time and effort into a game that you care about, and it's okay to feel disappointed or sad after a loss. But do not beat yourself up. Use it as an opportunity to grow. As a competitor, if you do not believe that you can win, and your opponent believes that they can win, how are you supposed to win?
I love that casual pop-off. That kind of made me think of you. Like, I could see you popping off like that.
I recognize
a good
both those
attitude
players. I
and
forget the
continue
one guy's
growing.
name.
Yeah, I do recognize
Your
them
attitude
too.
does not
Armada?
be perfect in every aspect.
Hungry
We're all
Box.
human after all.
Hungry
But
Box.
there is a
It's-
point where your attitude
It's
goes
definitely
from
Hungry Bucks.
imperfect
The other
to
guy, Armada,
outright.
though. I know he's
And
Swedish.
the more practices you neglect, the more damage your attitude will take. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on mentality.
I love that now we're just getting videos. It's like improve faster by adopting the right mentality. That one's 12 minutes instead of the 6. I wonder if there's something different. This one was made 3 years ago. That one was made 4 years ago. You want to pick the next video?
Actually no, because you're kind of going off. I want to let you take the reins here.
Oh.
You're making good picks.
Oh, okay. I thought it's because I was making bad picks. So you're like, yes, let's make fun of him by making more bad picks. All right.
No, this is good.
We just saw one on mentality, so I don't think we need to see another one. I do want to look at this one, the Flick SDI and stuff, because like I never heard of this.
This was made possible with the help of these fine folks. Show them some love. What's up, guys? Give me the video game scientist from VG Bootcamp here, and welcome to the final day of Techmas. It's finally here. We did it. We made it through 10 days, well, 2 days off, of non-stop tech videos, what I believe is Flick SDI.
Oh, so you can't get out of that.
This is Dashwalk SDI. And if you combine it, you get FDW SDI or triple SDI. I don't know what to call it yet.
What?
God, that happened so fast. Hold on, my eyes. Okay, like
That's
In
why
this
they
video,
did a
we're gonna go over
slow-mo.
How SDI works,
Yeah.
my new methods, how to
That was
implement
crazy
them,
that they were
and
able
of
to
course,
act.
how to use them.
yeah, because I
Get out of
remember
some
there
of
was
the
times you were
jankiness.
literally saying, "It's
Before
like,
we
how
get
the
started,
fuck
I
did
want to
they
give a special
act?"
shout out to YouTubers Azik
Right.
and Aika. They are freaking lab gods. Some of the principles that led me to come up with this stuff was from their SDI video. I have their channels in the description. Make sure and subscribe. I also want to give a big shout out to Acid Army for making this SDI multiplier list, as well as this hit stop list. I put his Twitter and the Google Sheet he made in the
Oh my.
description. First, let's go over what
Holy
SDI
crap.
is and how it works. On the second frame that you're hit, you go into hit lag or hit stop. This is the process where you and the player hitting you freeze. For projectiles, it's only the person getting hit that freezes. During hit stop, you can press the control stick around to move your character before they go into hit stun. These little white flashes indicate inputs of SDI.
It's like the
Wait,
little
that's
bit of
what
the
that
secret sauce
means.
of this character. Forge match is a
Looks
really,
like
really
it,
strong
'cause
group.
look,
This is
they're
called
able to get
Smash
out.
Directional Influence.
Holy crap,
SDI
I never
for
knew
short.
that.
If you're airborne when you're hit, you can SDI in any direction. If you're grounded when you hit, you can only SDI left or right.
Ah, left to right. Okay.
There are some exceptions though. SDI can be used to escape combos that are otherwise guaranteed. The goal of optimal SDI is to get as many inputs to the
God, I
direction you
really
want to
wish
go
I knew
before
that
hit
because
stop.
I mean I
And
still
ultimately,
hate
you have to
Steve.
press the control
I'm
stick
still
in the
standing by
direction,
that.
let it go back to neutral, and then press it
Hey,
in
I
that
agree.
direction again in order to get multiple inputs of SDI on one attack. The community has found another way to SDI optimally, which I call mash SDI, but we'll get to that later. How well you can SDI a move is based on two things: The first is how many frames of hit stop the move has. More hit stop means more opportunities to get an SDI input. Plus, generally speaking, every 4 frames of hit stop a move has, you get 1 extra input of SDI that you can input during the entirety of hit stop. Now, the amount you move per SDI input is also based on the control stick. I believe there are technically 16 different controller press directions you can SDI. The 4 cardinal directions, up, left, down, and right, you'll move just about 2 mini training mode blocks. Technically, it's about 1.85 to 1.9 mini blocks. Here's Diddy's head for reference. Most moves have a 1.0 multiplier, which you see here with the 2 training mode mini blocks. If a move has a 2.0 multiplier, you'll move twice as far per SDI input, so on and so forth. Diagonals will give you just about 80% SDI distance in both cardinal directions that the diagonal sits in between. The midpoint between a diagonal and a cardinal, which I call a half diagonal, gives just about a full input of SDI in the cardinal direction that it's closest to, and about 30% in the direction of the diagonal. Now earlier in the video, I said in order to get multiple instances of SDI while frozen in hit stop, you have to let go of the control stick or push it back to neutral and then press in that direction again. That's not exactly how it works. There are only 2 rules for SDI. The first is if you're holding the control stick in a direction before hit stop starts, you will not get an SDI input in that direction. The second rule is that you can't SDI in the same direction 2 frames in a row. So it all comes down to what counts as the same direction. Like I said, you can just go back to neutral on the control stick, but there is another way. So cardinal directions, up, down, left, and right, do not count as the same direction as their diagonal and half diagonal counterparts. So for example, going from right to half diagonal or full diagonal down right will give you that half diagonal or full diagonal SDI input. That being said, half diagonals and full diagonals do count as the same direction as each other, as well as their closest cardinal counterparts. So if you're holding half or full diagonal down right and move to right, you won't get an SDI input. But you can combine these 2 things I just talked about. For example, if you go right to down right, you'll get a full down right SDI input. If you then go from down right to upright, you'll pass the right cardinal direction, which will reset the situation, so that when you go from right to upright, you'll get a full upright SDI input. And you can repeat that over and over again.
Sleepy's calling again. Gotta go. Have fun while it lasted, though. Good night. All right. Have a good night, Starstruck. Thanks for stopping by.
This is the match SDI I was talking about earlier, and it's the form of SDI that I believe most players use. Match SDI
This is crazy, bro.
It has 2 downsides.
I never knew this.
First of all, when you're matching the control stick like this, it takes a little bit of time to adjust before and after you're getting hit. Because you have to move your thumb in an awkward position before getting hit, and then you have to go back to normal after getting hit. It's also really tiring on your arms, hard to implement on quick moves, bad for your controller, and just hard to do over and over again in general. It's much easier to get consistently on a Pro controller as well because of the rounded controller gate. Honestly, if you have a game controller, you might want to round your gate out. My arms are already tired. That's where my 2 new SDI methods come into play. With Flick SDI and Dash Walk SDI, you can get 2 SDI inputs and 1 quick, smooth motion. And if you master it, you can get those inputs out in a 4 to 6 frame window. Like Melee, this allows you to react to situations with quick inputs in order to escape combos, live longer, and because your hands aren't in some awkward position, you can even counterattack quickly in certain situations. As a note, unless I say otherwise, from here on out, we're assuming your C-stick is set to tilt.
Yeah, there it is. This is also why I told you, because like so many of these videos talks about having like your right analog stick set to tilts.
I just changed it today.
Yep, you are on a new path. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some water because like I am getting thirsty.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Alright, let's continue. Hey, Malik.
This one's actually quite simple. It's just taking the rules I said earlier and turning them into one simple motion. Basically, you anticipate when you're going to get hit, and while you're in hit stop, you flick the control stick from a cardinal to a neighboring diagonal really quickly. The full cardinal SDI input as well as the diagonal SDI input will stack on top of each other. The goal here is to hit the half diagonal so you get 2 full SDI inputs in the cardinal direction. If you go too fast, you'll hit the full diagonal and get 1.8, which is still really good. If you get proficient with Flick SDI, you should be able to get 2 SDI inputs within 2 to 5 frames. Now let's talk about Dash Walk SDI. Dash walking is simply just dashing forward, keeping the control stick held, and within 4 frames, flicking down or up on the C-stick. This makes it so you stay in your dash animation and don't transition into your run. What a lot of people don't know is that the input for a dash walk is actually 2 dash inputs in a row, which technically means the C-stick flick is somehow adding another dash input even though you're not letting go of the control stick. Doesn't this technically mean this works with SDI? And it turns out it does. So to dash walk SDI, you want to anticipate when you're going to get hit, and while you're in hit stop, hit the control stick in the way you want to SDI, then flick the C-stick, and while the C-stick is being held, you'll technically be in a neutral stick position. And when it flicks back to neutral, you'll get another input of SDI in the direction the control stick is being pushed.
Ah.
Oh, sleepy.
So this is how people
Also,
are getting
you
out
can't
of
flick the
combos
C-stick
I
in
thought
the
were
same
true.
direction that you're SDIing. I suggest to always go down or up, whatever's most comfortable.
Now you
for
know you
For
have to,
example,
like,
if you're
make it more
comfortable with
true.
flicking down on the C-stick, always do it that way unless you're going for down dash walk SDI. For that one exact input, flick up on the C-stick. If you get proficient with dash walk SDI, you should be able to get 2 inputs of SDI within 3 to 5 frames. Whether or not you flick SDI or dash walk SDI is all based on what you're most comfortable with, but they are slightly different. If you're in a checkmate situation, you can use flick SDI to try to move yourself away from the blast zone a little bit, as well as have the control stick land on the proper survival DI at the end of hit stop. In this particular case with Rob, you can live 4 to 5% longer just with flick SDI.
Because that definitely would have been death.
With dash walk SDI,
Yeah.
there's a cool little option select you can do.
I
You hit
think
someone
I've
shield
done
with a
this
move that's
before, I
just
just
barely
didn't know.
unsafe, and you know they're going to punish you with an out of shield move.
I have
you can
not
time the
done
dash
this.
walk back, so
I
if
don't
the move
think.
hits, you get 2 inputs of SDI. But if the move whiffs and they choose a slower option, you'll just dash walk backwards. That's pretty great risk reward. Just remember, it only works if your move's barely unsafe, because it's the only way this lines up properly. By the way, in this setup right here, this is what happens if you get no SDI input and try to forward air Game & Watch with Crom. And on the double SDI input, Crom actually beats out Game & Watch's Nair. This is Game & Watch doing full drift Nair towards Crom. So you should probably always go for dash walk SDI when you think Game & Watch is going to punish you with up B out of shield. The last SDI I want to show you is FTW SDI or triple SDI. Again, I don't know what to call it, which is just a combination of the last two, so I'm pretty sure you already understand what it is. To do it, just do flick SDI, but hold the diagonal, and then flick the C-stick. This will give you a full SDI input in the cardinal direction, as well as 2 SDI inputs in the diagonal. You can also dash walk SDI with the cardinal into a flick SDI to get 2 full SDI inputs in the direction you want to go, and 1 in the diagonal. And both versions are harder to time than flick SDI or dash walk SDI alone. And I suggest you only go for it when you're going to get hit by a move that has a significant amount of hit stop, at least 14 frames or more. Before I get into examples, I want to briefly talk about smash stick. Unlike tilt stick, it actually gives you an SDI input of 83%. So you can do dash walk SDI a little differently to get 3 SDI inputs by going for a half diagonal with the control stick and the opposite half diagonal with the C stick. The 2 control stick inputs will give you full SDI, and the C-stick press will give you that 83%. This is really strong. You can also triple SDI with C-stick smash by doing flick SDI into a diagonal and flicking the C-stick in the opposite diagonal. You'll get 4 SDI inputs, so I guess it's more like quad SDI. Lastly, I want to go over Steve's jab just to show you how versatile this SDI is. Because Steve's jab only has 7 frames of hit lag, I can only be SDI'd twice. I suggest Dashwalk SDI since I find it to be the easiest to get off quickly over and over again. Once you react to the situation, just start timing it in rhythm with the jabs. For floaty/fast followers at low mid percents, this creates an amazing option select. Choose the direction you want to go with the control stick and what aerial you want with the C stick, so that when the jab hits you, you get the SDI, and if the jab whiffs, the Dashwalk SDI input will cause the aerial to come out. For example, here with Mario, I do Dashwalk SDI on the full up and in diagonal, and use back on the C stick. So I get the Dashwalk SDI on hit, and as soon as the jab whiffs, the Dashwalk input gets me a back air.
That is actually insane.
Here are some other examples.
God, that was instantly when came and watched. Jesus.
Frame data at work.
Poor Rob. Okay, Jigglypuff. Wow. Oh my god. Bro, Jigglypuff getting out. Is Little Mac just fucked?
We'll have to find out.
Oh. Okay, yeah, of course Roy can get out really easily. Damn. Let's go! Use that! Oh! Okay, that's Kazuya. Fucking Kazuya. I feel like this showing it with multiple characters just helps.
Also, that option select that works on Game & Watch's uppy that I showed you earlier also works in a situation like this with Steve's jab out of shield. If it hits, the follow-up will probably whiff and you can punish.
Oh, yeah.
If it whiffs, you'll dash walk away and may even be able to punish then as well.
Oh, dude, if I start seeing you do that shit, I'll be like, damn, the videos are working.
I suggest dash walking SDI away from Steve. Here's a cool instance of me using up on the C stick to dash walk SDI with Fox, and the timing just so happens to buffer a turnaround up tilt once I get out.
Oh, insane.
Hey y'all, Future Gamer here. I just wanted to say I tried to figure out solutions for SDIing Steve's nil combos, but it was just too hard for me to set up to learn. I will say though, up tilt has like 10 frames, which means using dash walk SDI should be really strong. You probably want to do it up and away from the axe. By the second and third axe hit, you might be able to escape in time to not get up smashed. Also, to do a quick TLDR of the video, flick and dash walk SDI for moves with less than 10 frames of hit lag, and if a move has more than that, you can do triple SDI. Now let's talk about how to practice this SDI. Go to training mode and pick Fox. Set the CPU to DK. Next, make sure and turn stale moves on and set DK to forward smash. Reset and press B to fire a gun to make sure you don't accidentally dash before getting hit. DK's forward smash has like 1/2 a second of hit stop, so it's a great way to practice since you can start the input slowly, then practice getting faster and faster. Key mistakes to look out for: don't input before DK hits you, and also don't accidentally input crouch during hit lag. The goal here is to SDI left. After getting hit, crouch to see where Fox's foot lines up. If you get no SDI, it'll be right here. I'll eventually have a doc in the description that explains where your foot should line up if you're doing each version correctly. And with that, Techmas now comes to a close. Thank you all for the support these last 10 days. It has been a wild ride, and honestly, I'm just so happy and proud of myself as well as my team and, you know, the Smash University guys and everybody involved to help make.
Please send me that video. I need to study this further. That's actually insane.
Alright, there you go. It is now in there for you.
Thank you.
Actually, I should be putting this on the group because, like, this is definitely something to save.
That is group chat worthy. 100%.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a pin. There we go. Got it. Oh, hey, Owen. What's up? How you doing, man? Oh yeah, do you know about the double shield canceling? I think I already went over this with a different like channel, like where you press like 2 buttons and then you can like move the shield like up and down and all around.
Yes, I've started doing that a lot more.
Yeah. Alright. Not much excited for this weekend. Oh, what's happening this weekend? Oh right, Riptide. That's right. Oh man, that's when Smash is really gonna be popping off. Are you gonna be watching that one, Morbius? We could actually make that into a stream, like watching like freaking Smash Riptide, because Riptide always has some good stuff.
I am down. I am down for that.
Yeah.
Riptide is the Ohio one?
Let me check. Riptide 2025.
That's a song.
Let's see. Yeah, Ohio. It says Sandusky, Ohio.
Nice.
That's not even really that far from our state. How many hours would it take to get there? Oh wait, I don't want to search that up on stream. But yeah.
That's just 3 days away from now. Gee willikers.
Hi, babe.
Hi.
Let's see. All right. Competitor. Man, look at those competitor prices, Morbius. Ouch.
Ooh, that's a yikes.
Yeah, it's a lot. Let's see, deadlines.
Bro, 60 for spectator is crazy.
Oh, you're playing... Yeah, 60 is a lot just for spectating. Wait, that means if I wanted my girlfriend to watch, he'd have to pay 60 just to watch. That's crazy.
Yup.
No thanks.
Fair. I'm playing in Mario Kart 8 and Melee. Alright, okay. Go on, dox yourself, bro.
That's so
Malik,
awesome.
you already know where I live. Kinda.
That is so last minute. Are you really doing this?
No, I'm not doing this. I'm just looking at it because someone mentioned it in the chat.
Well, I mean, it would be a fun road trip. So I know I just said no thanks, but like, I mean, road trip. Road trip!
Dude, Morbius, that'd be awesome if me and you go to this next year. Riptide 2026. Now that would be exciting.
That would be hella fun.
Yeah, look. Ultimate doubles. Bro, we can literally form the ultimate team. Little Mac and Mario. We got it.
I'm gonna go on a midnight walk.
Okay, have a good walk. Have a good walk.
Who in chat mentioned
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Oh, that was Owen.
Oh, and do you play competitive?
He does. I've played with him on competitive before because
Nice.
he is actually from Michigan, which I also go visit another friend in Michigan. So I sometimes drive down to Michigan and participate in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe locals. I mean, it's like about a 4-hour drive, but it's worth it because like there's no freaking there's no Mario Kart scene over here. There technically is, but it's like it's. All right, this is probably gonna sound counterproductive when I say this, but like it's a 2-hour drive to like get to the Mario Kart stuff in like our state because I have to go over there and then like what if the event is like a couple days long? Then I have to like pay for a hotel and stuff. But if I go over to Michigan, I can stay at my friend's place and then attend the event, and I don't have to spend extra money to like stay at a place. So that's why it's okay for me to drive the 4 hours. If only I knew somebody over there, it'd be fine. But, oh my
Cost
God.
effective.
Dude, ultimate doubles though. I've been wanting to participate in a tournament where I can actually have a doubles partner because like I feel like it'd just be crazy.
I've never done doubles in a official setting, so I would be interested.
Yeah, I always wanted to. Oh yeah, let me see what Ronnie's doing. He has to be online right now. See if we can like get him to come in. Alright, let me grab my link. You're excited for Battle Royale, but Bomb Blast first, and then I hope to make finals for Shine Thief. Only about 21 players in the bracket. Oh, you got it, Owen. You're gonna smoke them all.
Shine Thief is a banger.
Oh yeah, Shine Thief is great. Alright, I'm sending this to Ronnie right now. There we go.
My favorite, I think, is Renegade Roundup, though.
Oh, I like that one too, because it's literally just cops and robbers.
Yeah, we are looking to maybe do, in the competitive scene, in 8 Deluxe Renegade Roundup tourney. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Might drop some lore here if it actually happens.
Nice. Alright, what's hotel accommodations? I might as well at least see. 2 queen beds in each room. Water park admission included. Ooh. Going to a water park too? Actually, that's
200 a night?
That's actually not bad. I think it's a bit more expensive for where I go for JFAX. I don't know. I know Riptide is pretty expensive because I remember I got told about it last year and they're like, hey, are you going to Riptide 2024? And I'm like, nope, this is way too short notice. And I was like, maybe I'll go next year, and then I don't.
Yeah, this is the one I always hear about, but yeah, people tell me that it's decently expensive overall, so
Oh,
who
I
knows?
think Ronnie's in the chat because I just saw a follow. I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Oh boy.
Ronnie, we've been wanting you back. We got our asses kicked by somebody who's like just better at the game yesterday. And then we were thinking about you. I was like, man, I need to go against your Isabella again. Okay.
So do I. I need revenge.
Steve Man's out for revenge. Alright.
I got close. I got to one stock left on a couple, but overall he gets me usually.
Fun fact, if I reach 50 points in Shine Thief for Riptide, I'm on match point, and if I hold it for all 20 seconds on match point, I win. But if I or no one gets match point by the end of the 12th round, winner is based on how many points by the end. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Alright, I think we'll watch one more video, because we don't want too much information overload.
That is fair. It's only day 2 after all.
The ledge slip macro. This sounds like something we should look into.
There's an explorer that lives in every man's soul. One that yearns for discovery and progress. No matter how much society pushes you and breaks you down, that flame will be there, burning, no matter how small. So I say,
Could you actually
listen to
film
that
all
flame
this?
and let it guide
I
you.
think so. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm already very entertained. Let me change the quality. There we go.
For new worlds, ideas, and passions. Be that
I
explorer.
might have to subscribe to this guy. This is like the second video we found from him. Like, I'm good to just subscribe.
I'm liking this. I'm probably gonna sub as well.
Yeah.
Be that trailblazer. Be you. Back to the Lab by Gimmer. Limited merch drop ends December 22nd.
I love
Get
it when
it now.
educational videos become chaos.
What's up,
Yeah.
guys? Future Gimmer here. Real quick, I want to talk to you about this merch drop I'm doing. Ends December 22nd, so you want to get it now. Teamed up with the awesome folks at Spiff Space. Techmas was made possible.
No offense to him for skipping that, but
with the
I can
help of
tell
these
this is
fine
old.
folks. Show them some love. What's up, guys? Gimmer the video game scientist from VG Bootcamp here. Welcome to another day of Techmas, and this is the ledge slip macro.
Alright, run. Ooh! It looks the same when you see it like fast, but
Okay. I think the Rob with the with the bigger hitbox illustrated it for me better. Also, crazy spike.
yeah. Dude, look at that. Jesus Christ.
Nah.
You know I would not be able to do that. Like, my character could not do that, but I can at least do the counter thing. I should still learn this anyway, because maybe I could actually get somebody with my bad aerials. That would be pretty hilarious.
I don't think I could pull that off. Maybe with Nair.
You can't pull it off right now. Let's put it like that.
Well, I mean, like, because I don't have, like, a downward spike.
You might be able to do it with your fair. You just would have to find a different application for it, because I see it's like working with these other characters.
I'm thinking I would walk off the ledge and then, like, float backwards and then fair, potentially, to, like, have the right angle. But I don't know.
Oh, I've seen that before with a youngling. Oh, man. Delicious. Mac doesn't get shit out of this. I know. This does not mean anything for Mac at all. It's
Just
like
gotta
how,
believe.
it's how someone put the game. They were like, you are literally learning how to play the game wrong when you touch Little Mac. Like, it's so upsetting, but it's so true. You are not playing Smash. You were playing something else. That is crazy. Dude, what if you got hit by that? Oh, if Fishy could do that with Link, Jesus. Oh, dude, imagine Paper doing that with fucking Toon Link. Oh my god. Oh, and Pac-Man is just diabolical. We know Pac-Man is diabolical. Oh! Oh!
No,
Oh, God! I actually used to play Diddy, so, like, I should pay attention to that one. Look at that! That's so evil! Oh, no. Not the ice climbers!
Oh, that was crazy tech right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh! What?
I've done that
Bro!
on accident. I've done that
Oh,
on
you
accident.
need to do it on purpose. That was crazy. He didn't even leave the ground. Oh, he looked like he fell down.
In this video, we're going to talk about ledge slipping, the mechanics behind it, my new method, and how to apply it.
I really like how he presents the information. He literally shows off the tech at first, and then he like actually dives further into it.
Annoying
Yes,
things about
this
Ultimate
format is
how
incredible.
explosive running off a platform a ledge can be. With running, you go really far. But even with walking, you go quite a bit of distance. This is good for edge guarding in certain scenarios, but when an opponent is recovering in this area, it can be really hard to cover. Normally you have to short hop or something like that, but this takes extra time, which makes reactionary edge guarding in this spot even more difficult. Over time, we've come up with different methods of ledge slips in order to cover this space. First, we realized you can run to the ledge, buffer a tilt, and then hold towards the ledge, and then hold back real quickly. And that was able to cover the space. But doing that aerial caused similar issues with short hopping, where it just takes extra time to do, and it makes reacting with an edge guard in this situation much more difficult. Then Jay for Jonas discovered the best method to date, where you let go of the control stick to skid, and then press down to crouch, roll the control stick to down forward, and then press forward to slip. Sub to Jonas on YouTube and watch his video on crouch ledge slip. He makes great tech videos. So I decided to lab the mechanics and understand
can
why
narrow
ledge
off that, I
slipping
bet.
happens in the first place. Once I discovered how it works, I came up with my own method, which is a little more viable, quicker, for a reactable edge guard scenario. Before I get into that though, I need to explain a few things. First is the 2-frame macro, something that I think exists in every Smash game. I discovered how it works a couple of years ago, and it's actually the mechanic that led me to figuring out slingshotting. Basically, if you hold a walk input for 2 frames or more, and then transition your control stick all the way in the same direction, the game won't transition into your dash animation.
I do know that.
They probably did this to stop people from accidentally running when they're just trying to walk or turn around. Here's the kicker though, the 2-frame macro can activate while you're in the middle of another animation, plus it can stack. For example, with slingshotting, you can dash in one direction, hold down back for 2 frames or more, and then hold all the way back, and while you're still in that forward dash animation, you'll be holding the opposite direction and a backdash won't come out. But that's for another video. So here's another interesting macro. Everybody knows this, but if you dash in one direction and then let go of the control stick, you'll go into your run skid animation. But you can also cancel your run animation into your skid animation by going from forward to down forward or forward to up forward. For up forward, tap jump must be off though. If you're holding down forward, your run skid animation will eventually cancel into crouch.
Yep,
If you're holding
just
up
tested that
forward,
now,
your
it
run skid
works.
animation will cancel into your walk animation.
He's doing that kind of thing that kids do in school where it's like, oh, I saw something, I gotta try this now. He's applying it. Look at
Here's
it.
where it gets
You're
good.
following along now, aren't you?
I am. I'm actually in handheld right now, so I can see the video and do my.
Damn, now you're making me
At the
want to
same
do
time.
it, you bastard. Hold on, I'm hopping on. Wait, there's a system update? God damn it. Alright.
The 2-frame macro I told you about, it
Oh, I will say this though. Oh, did I just accidentally?
activates.
Oh, okay, I didn't accidentally went forward. Alright, I will say though, I think the people that may present a challenge to me in Free For All, I have Riptide will be probably Bonkers, Lunatone, Vertex, and also Mindset, so there'll be a challenge. Ah, you got it, Owen. Believe! Vertex might win the entire thing. It is freaking Vertex, man. I've seen that guy's skill.
I've heard that name.
You've heard Vertex? Like, the X is capital, right?
I've never seen it spelled. I've just only heard it. So I'm not sure of the
I
spelling.
wonder if we're talking about the same person. He's like really good in the racing scene. It's interesting that you did hear that name though.
I do play comps, so it probably came up at some point, but I don't know what the lore would be.
Oh boy. I've met him in person. he is very good. Alright, where is... This is how you know I don't hop on training too often.
Who just appeared online? Who's that I see?
Okay, let me actually play this with an aerial character I like playing. So Little Mac is definitely out. We'll go with Doc. I'll be a heavy bitch. Owen said Vertex is a Midwest terror in Mario Kart.
A lot of the people I know are Midwest in the scene, so it's probably where I happened to encounter the name. So I don't know them personally, though.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing it. All right.
On up forward and down forward. So basically, if you're in your run animation and you transition from forward to down forward or forward to up forward, you stack 3 macros. I'm sure you're wondering, what does this have to do with ledge slipping? Well, it all boils down to how ledge slipping works in the first place. You see, there kind of is no ledge walk-off animation. There's your on-stage animation and your airborne animation. And the game uses interpolation to create a transition animation on the fly that combines the attributes of both of them. And you burst off because of your run speed. Same applies to your walk-off. So, if you run to the ledge and then transition to a forward diagonal, you'll start your run skid animation and the following will happen. For down forward, your run skid will cancel into crouch, and once your crouch animation starts, you can quickly move from down forward to forward, and you won't go into your dash animation because the 2-frame macro is in effect. After at least 6 frames of crouching, your character will start to go off the ledge with a transition animation that combines your crouch animation and your falling animation. You can act on frame 3. For up forward, your run skid will cancel into teeter. On the second frame of teeter, you can quickly move from up forward to forward, and you won't go into your dash animation because the 2-frame macro is in effect. You will start to go off the ledge with a transition animation that combines your teeter animation and your falling animation. How long it takes until your character can act is character dependent. For example, Mario is airborne on frame 5.
Thank you for following.
Because
Owen.
both crouch and teeter have
Thank
real
you.
momentum and the transition animation reflects that, you can immediately hug the stage really hard when falling off.
I gotta start doing this stuff on purpose instead of, oh, what the heck, what did I just do there? Like, I need to know. Like, I'm getting the know right now.
Yeah, dude, literally I could see you doing this so much more. I don't know how much you'll be able to use this against Little Mac, since I can't just counter you if you happen to try to do that.
Also
This is so
true.
quick that it allows you to do it on the fly in the middle of a match. If you get there early, you can just keep the diagonal forward input held and react. And if you're too close to the ledge to dash, you can just hold up forward to walk to the ledge, and it gets you the same effect. I honestly think if people start implementing this, it's going to be a game changer. It makes 2-framing as well as edge guarding in general way easier, especially on recoveries that hug the stage. Or tethers, because they always have to go under stage in a specific spot in order to get there. Another quick note, if you do the slingshot input, it will cause your character to fast fall, start hugging, and not grab the ledge, which is really good for hitting this area with really quick aerials. And if you just flick the slingshot input, you'll do a really quick ledge trump. Just to show you how close to the ledge this puts you, certain characters can instant land their aerials.
Find out right now.
Ice climbers also seem to get a pretty
Like,
cool desync with the slingshot.
Freaking Pac-Man being able to do that. Ice climbers would just feel so damn unfair.
Yes.
Rosalina can also desync with Luma on stage with this.
Well, yeah, this is just a freaking given. Luma just can cover Rosalina whenever. That's why you gotta get rid of the damn star as soon as
So
possible.
here's some cool examples of the ledge slip macro in practice. Now take notice, in most of these clips, Fox is getting hit before his 2-frame animation, which means this gives you a larger punish window for punishing recoveries that are hugging the ledge.
Yeah, I've seen people do this a lot. And now
Yeah.
I know how you can do it. Yeah, even when you don't see it come out, because I know in that situation you'd be like, how did that happen? But they already had it like locked and loaded.
The whole thing was planned from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, God. So good.
The last main ultimate thing I wanted to talk about is items. Ledge slipping lets you Z-drop your item right in the 2-frame area, but it lingers for a really long time. You can use this to get combos, and you can even grab the ledge for invul to avoid your opponent's recovery hitbox, and you won't get trumped if they get hit by the item.
God.
Aww. That is actually crazy.
Man, if I did that with more of Young Link, I definitely would love playing him. Because I like playing Young Link. I don't use his bombs enough, and I should. I use his boomerang a lot. I love doing the boomerang combos, because those are very satisfying to land on somebody. I didn't know Toad was playable.
He is now.
Bro, that is still
Aww.
just some diabolical shit there, though. Like, God. Dude, even Bowser Jr. being able to do it.
I've played a lot of good Bowser Juniors.
Diddy Kong has this insane setup where you just ledge slip, hold away from the stage, and then time the C-stick down input correctly. It's a 1-frame link. If you get it right though, he throws the banana down and it like stays in the 2-frame area for a really long time, and you can combo this into side B and spike them. And if you mess up the timing, all that happens is that you throw the banana down on stage and then side B into the stage. Now that ultimate's done, I want to talk about how this affects melee. Almost everything I said about ultimate applies to melee, but the mechanics are a bit different, so this is how you want to do it. Wave dash towards the ledge and immediately hold up forward. If you transition fast enough, it won't buffer a jump and you'll go into your teeter. At this point, it's like ultimate, except in melee, I'm fairly certain ledge teeter universally leads to being airborne on frame 3. Melee is really fast paced, so being able to set this up quickly is very important. Like, look how quick I'm able to fade back here with Marth's Fair. It makes instant wall jumping way easier though. As far as I know, characters like Falcon usually dash attack first to get the same effect.
God, how did Sakurai accidentally like make the best game in the series with the second game? That's like some insane work.
Another way you can set this up in melee is by doing an aerial next to the ledge and holding up forward while the landing lag cancels. You'll go straight into teeter and can immediately ledge slip and pull back your momentum, which could potentially be useful for ledge cancel combos.
Ooh.
And it also allows Peach to do a float like right next to the ledge way quicker. Anyways, that's what I got so far. I'm really excited to see what the community has to come up with because it seems like this could be very useful in a lot of different scenarios and probably in a lot of ways I haven't even thought of. Anyways, that's the video. If you liked it, consider giving it a like. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. And if you really...
Yeah, I already subscribed, buddy. You already sold me at the beginning. Alright, another one I'll drop into the group because very educational. Well, alright, Morbius, fine. You'll get what you want.
I will?
You see here the excited tone in his voice? Alright, guys, there will be Smash.
Say less.
Have a good night, Angel. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Have a good one.
Don't mind that music that's happening in the background. It is my wallpaper. It's about to go away in just a second. There we go. Boo. Why are you saying boo? You haven't even joined for the sessions in forever, Mr. Sephiroth. Sephiroth. You have a job? I also have a job. It's called... Nah, I don't feel like being savage tonight. Yeah, but I'm off from my job, so that's why I have more time. It'll be a little bit harder playing these streams once I have to go back to my 10-hour shifts next week. But for now, I could do it at any time. Unfortunately, I have to do it on Morbius time, and Morbius time means let's do it at the fucking latest hour possible.
Perhaps tomorrow will be different.
I hope so, because I don't want every stream on my days off to be late, bro. I still need to keep a decent sleep schedule.
I know.
I'm not you, bro. Alright, I'm trying to get my other screen set up, but it is disagreeing with me right now.
Take your time. I'm excited to test my new controls out.
Yeah? Yeah, there's that tech with Little Mac that I don't use enough. I keep forgetting about it. There's some things I just need to be consciously aware of while I'm fighting you. Because, like, they got this little slip thing where, like, you use the momentum of your dash and then you can forward tilt somebody. I've seen Peanut do it several times as well, too. And it's good for closing out a stock.
Yeah. I've tried to do that, but I accidentally dash attack. So I'm hoping switching to C-stick tilt will actually give me a bigger window to execute tilt instead of, hey, we're doing dash attack instead. So, we'll see, though.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, am I clicking on... There we go. Oh god, it got smaller. I think it's because I was making that other window smaller. Alright, there we go, guys. Okay, you can see this. I'm gonna switch to screen share. Oh, wait, actually, you don't even need to see it because you'll be in the arena anyway.
I only have one display, so, yeah.
Alright, anyone is welcome to join. I should probably set the rules thing because I don't want what jank happened to you earlier because I'm yesterday because that was annoying, like having a random stage that just was very unfair to you. I don't want to see that happen to you again.
Did anyone else play on a jank stage, or was it literally just me?
It was just you. Like, for me and Fishy, we lucked out. We did not have to do jank. Okay, so I can set it to... Let's see. Can I, like, set it to, like, the stages we want? Random stage in either Battlefield or Final Destination form will be selected. Is that good enough? I could just leave it like that.
Battlefield or FD?
Yeah, because that's actually an option. I don't use it, but I can force people to do that.
I am down, because, I mean...
Then you don't have to deal with your jank.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, I know for comp, it's like, what, Battlefield, Small Battlefield, PS2, Town and City, Smashville, Hullabash, and Kalos.
Alright, guys, here's the password for the arena. It's 564. And then, the ID... Does it pop up here? No, I think it pops up after we go in. Doing that ledge slip thing with Mac is funny. What actually happens with that ledge slip thing? Like, does it look like he freaking falls more because, like, his aerials are so slow? Okay, so the ID for the arena is B0VP4. But if you're a friend on my Switch list, you can just join, and then you just gotta put in... Hi, Fishy. Of course,
damn, he got in before me. Holy
yeah, he did, and he wasn't even in the call. Alright, for the people who want to be in the call, I'm going to actually switch over to our little private group chat, so I'm going over there. So, Malik, if you want to join, Fishy, you want to join. There we go. Let's bring Morbius over here. I'll bring Fishy. I'll bring Malik, just in case they want to play. I don't know if Ronnie wants to play if he's still watching the stream.
Ow.
Oh.
Hello.
You're like really loud on my computer for some reason.
Why? Why do you have me turned up?
I don't. Apparently, for some reason, you were at 150. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I thought 150 was the default.
No, 100.
No, 100 is.
Okay, my settings just must be screwed then, because I have everybody at like 150.
Dude,
I thought it was standard.
Turn me down, brother. I am so loud as an individual. Why do you have me there? Okay, Ronnie, if you do want to join, would you like to join the VC? Because we have like this training boot camp we've been doing for Smash. I've honestly should have been inviting you more, but like I kind of forgot. And then like after you said you were getting busy with stuff, then I was like, oh, now I don't know when I should be inviting him.
Welcome.
Hey, Fishy. Oh yeah, Ronnie. I think I already asked you before, but are you going to attend PGX? Because you can. I mean, it is in our area, so it would be cool to see you there for Smash. Actually, you can just answer me once you get in here.
Say it live.
Yeah, say it in real time for the peoples. Persona 4 remake coming to you next year. Another game I'll probably leave incomplete because I'm just so bad. Hi, Ronnie.
You do it.
There's Malik. Yeah, we're good.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I think I can now, yes.
I hear you now.
Dang, Ronnie, it's been years since I've heard your voice. I say this, but I think it's just been weeks.
3,000 years. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah. Have you still been playing Persona 5X? Because I have not. I'm just waiting until Chapter 2 is done.
I dropped off ever since I couldn't get Joker.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, I did have Zeke message me like I want to say like a week or two ago asking me to play Prism, but that was like he messaged me when I was really high on I was highly addicted to Grounded. I still am, so I didn't have any time to like play Smash that day.
Yeah, at the time we were actually introducing another friend who doesn't really play Smash games to Prism Cross.
Okay.
And that guy is a card. Let's put it like that.
Card. No further words required.
So, Ronnie, do you want to come to PGX, or do you think you won't have the money? It's $85 just for 3 days.
I'd like to, but it again, it just determines on Zeke.
Okay. Well, I hope you can go, because then you get to meet Morbius in person.
What are the days again?
It is... Fuck.
October 3rd through 5th?
October 5th.
Let me look at a calendar. That's gonna just help me with visualization. Yeah, 3rd to the 5th. You're correct.
I'll ask about it to Zeke.
Okay, yeah, you still got a month.
The next time I talk to him.
Alright.
You got time.
Yeah, I need to buy my tickets.
I mean, I got the free time to do it.
Yeah, dude, you
So,
can literally,
I mean,
if you, this is why I was like, why didn't I invite you? Because I know you literally have nothing to do, and I'm playing Smash for like the whole month of September, so I'm like, I should invite Ronnie, because like, he's good at the game.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Nah, dude, we seen that, Isabel. Morbius wants his revenge.
Not revenge, just... Okay, I guess it's revenge. But like, I want more experience.
No, revenge. Revenge. Alright, get in here, Morbius.
Alright,
you're
if
first.
you want this audacious march for your unbounded revenge, let's go.
Fernan, you're here! You're joining us tonight! Wonderful!
Hold on, I will let everyone hop in the, like the line for the ring first.
Oh, Morbius, I was saying you were first. You have to hop in first to be in the ring, you dumb.
Yeah, but they can't spectate unless they're all...
Oh.
Unless they don't care.
I mean, we could just sit in the
Yeah, I was gonna say,
stand.
they can sit in the stands and then go into the waiting area after you join in.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, let's do our best of 3. That'll set the pace for the stream tonight, and then we'll have everybody else start hopping in.
You want to go that far this early? All right, bet.
Nah, bro, I want it to be best of 27.
Best of you know what? How about I give you one better? We'll do best of 5.
Oh, we're doing grand finals.
Yeah, we're going to grand finals. Let's like get into that mindset that we will be in grand finals.
I hope to see you in grand finals.
Yeah. that also has to mean I have to get better first, because God, I got embarrassed last night on the game.
Hey, getting top 8 is an achievement itself.
You right, you right. Oh shit, how did I not like... Okay, that was already interesting interaction there.
That forward tilt should have hit.
That's what I mean, like, why didn't it hit? Oh, there we go, okay, I was
Ooh,
right
nice
there.
read.
Yeah. Ah, damn it. Oh, you missed.
Oh, I turned around, yeah. I meant to do it the other way.
Ooh, alright. Nice. That time I did it on
shot.
purpose. Oh, let's go! Okay, you're not rolling as much. I'm already liking that more.
Wait, why is it my old control scheme?
Oh, wait, is it not on your regular control scheme?
Did you not change your name?
No, I edited it.
Go look at that, like, after this one, because, like, I don't want you to be, like, crippled here.
As I am up a stock.
Aw, damn, I wanted that up B.
Not this time. Perhaps later. Oh, that was not the move I wanted.
Oh, damn, just enough. I literally thought I
But all startup frames.
Yeah.
Oh, buffer counter or?
I was trying to collide with your fireball. I did it late.
I see. Armor. What? Oh, I accidentally went through you.
Yeah, that's why I do that option, because, like, I will be behind.
Hell, final hit. Nice. See, I wanted tilt, but the controls sold.
Oh, thank God, yes!
Man, that pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
Got him anyway.
I'll take it. You didn't punish me. Go check your controls.
Dude, I literally saved it. Like... Alright, give me 1 sec here.
Alright.
What in the
I
hell?
wish there was a thing like in Rivals of Aether where you could literally like test your controls right then and there on the character select screen. That was a nice thing that game did.
I have my name. I mean, it should be fine.
But it was doing smash attacks when you tilt the right stick?
Yes. Is there a way to change controls in this arena?
I don't...
You gotta leave.
Yeah, you have to leave.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, I don't know what happened.
Wait, can I join you guys on the stands? Yeah, yeah. How's it going, Fishy? Oh, Fishy, why are you over there? Get back here. Get your butt back here.
Morbius. It is set to tilt. So I don't know what is happening.
Can't you pick your name when you're picking your character, like, within the arena itself, too?
Yes,
you
I did
can.
that. I did that as well.
Just double check, like, make sure to go back to the character select screen, like when you pick Mario, when you come back to the arena, just make sure it's set to your tilt controls.
Okay.
Tilt controls.
Here the wire of my full force neutral attack. Who actually thought that dialogue was good?
A full force neutral?
Alright, there's Morbius.
Okay, so...
As he leaves the arena. Man, you're getting too jittery, Mr. Fish.
Morbius? Yeah, it's my name. Alright, trying again.
Alright. Maybe you're just destined to do
What was
default.
feeling?
I mean, I'll let you do a control test and then we could just like reset it. Like, just do your tilts real quick. Cause like, I have it set for mine. Cause like, here, I'll show you right analog stick, just doing that.
Now it's fine.
Okay.
What the hell was that first match then?
I don't know. Alright, let's do it.
Alright.
Maybe they should bug test the game before they release it, guys.
Nah. You don't do all that. Just release it. They'll love it. It's a Nintendo product. Of course they love it.
Yeah, it's Nintendo. People literally
Day one patches.
What are those?
Day one patches.
Stop going high.
There we go.
Dang, I'm surprised I didn't like magnet to the ledge.
This is the shit I was trying to do before. Yeah, no. Good read.
Thank you. I don't know how I tripped there.
I made you sit down. That was rude.
Yeah. Like, brother.
I should have waited, dude.
The low knockback ones usually have a chance of tripping.
Damn it. It almost worked too.
Could've just failed, something.
Ah, so close to the 2-frame. Oh, nice parry.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
What?
We've gotten that interaction so many times.
Yeah, I thought it was smash attack, so I sold.
Whoa! I can't believe I missed you. I think it's just because you did the
It's
down
because I
smash.
crouched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both underneath.
Oh, nice. I'm just gonna take that now. I'm like, I'll just take that. Oh, nice. Alright. Oh, what?
You go for a parry there?
Yeah, that's why I said, oh, what? I literally just missed time.
I'm sure you were still stuck in landing, right?
You might have had end lag from landing, honestly. I don't even, like, that was crazy.
I think I just let go too much. Whenever I'm trying to do my parry game, I'm reacting too quick. It's so sad. My playstyle, I'm actually so good at reading people, but when you're actually watching me on screen, I'm sure you don't believe that because I'm reacting too quickly.
You're a very fast reactor.
I know. I wish I knew how to slow myself down. That's why the way that I'm gonna correct my problem is that, like, I have to, I'm just gonna have to play in a way where I need to slow down just a little bit, because I can't completely slow my playstyle down.
Like, I have never said, how did this guy act, more to any person than you.
You know, I never really thought about my playstyle of Smash Brothers. I just kind of play on vibes.
Oh, damn, I was trying to, like, up you there. Oh.
Oh, that was so late.
Being whole heart, I'm matching. I don't care.
Ah, damn it. Oh, there we
You're
go.
only minus if you're a bitch.
He's not wrong.
Whoops. That is not what I wanted to do.
Bro, why did you let that happen? Why did you let that happen?
Oh my god.
I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna lock in here and see if he actually will hit me out. He didn't.
Press B and pray.
Oh, dang. Oh.
Or as I like to just say, let it rip.
Let it rip. Now you're just making me think of Beyblade.
That is exactly what I was referencing.
Oh, awesome. Woo! Nice shit. Oh, I see you waiting the delayed.
Oh my
nice.
god, with the soggy fist.
Oh. Oh. Ah, damn it. I really wanted it. Oh my god, I want it so bad. Oh, dang. I actually thought I spaced it properly.
I made sure to dash in farther this time.
Yeah, you did, because like I usually, that's how I'm combating it now. I just have to space it, because like you may be able to read the counter, but if I just go away far enough, I'm okay.
Very nice set.
Yeah. All right, I think you got it, because like best of 5 is whoever gets the 3 first. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yep, that was 3.
Yeah, I got rocked. Alright, now the gentleman's game, and then the arena is open for everybody.
You got it. Yeah, so like, I forget which move it was, and I forgot to save the replay, but there was like, when you hit my shield, normally I had been trying to like do a smash attack out of that, but it was too slow, but instead I was able to do forward tilt and I hit you with it.
Yeah.
Whoa, what? That went through my grab?
Oh man, I had it. This is what I mean.
Did you though? What? Okay, grab did not come out. That's interesting.
Under it.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Okay. God, what? I hate myself right now. I'll talk after the match.
This is definitely a gentleman's game moment.
You literally have this happen to you too. Like, you'll do bad during the actual games, and then the gentleman's game is like, yeah, we're cooking.
Oh,
there we go. Let's go.
That's why you save your jump, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah, dang.
No counter, interesting. Would love to pull off the reverse on stream.
That would be awesome. For you, not me. Oh.
Whoa, footstool? Oh, I did the thing again.
You did, indeed.
How did it happen?
Yep, that right there I can get you with tilts.
Yeah, I guess it's been helping you then with the tilt controls.
Because that's what I was trying to do the other times. But it just did not.
Oh, I love that! I love that!
Over the fireball.
I love doing that to you so much, jumping over the projectile. Oh man, why is it always the gentleman's game? Whatever, I have my pride still intact.
It's just that kind of night.
Yep. We can't always start him off with all W's.
Gotta be one.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, who wants to go against me next? Since Morbius already, like... Oh. Fishy literally jumped! Like, I imagined in my head, man was like, jumped out of his seat and was like, let me at him, let me at him! Alright.
I gotta warm up.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's Crom. Fuck.
Blocking the Crom, okay.
Okay.
You got it, Vex.
It's okay, it's just a sortie. He's just as bad as you or something.
The fist is mightier than the sword, I swear.
Yeah, like his recovery is just as bad as yours. It's okay.
You mean slightly worse. It's literally slightly worse.
Look, if you just counter it on the ledge, you win, bro. That's all.
You're right, you're right. I love this music that's playing, by the way.
We love a good soundtrack.
Ah, we hate that. Well, I mean, that-
This is why I don't like doing that because like that's so unfair to him, but it's the correct option.
You hate to see it.
Oh no, it can happen to you too.
You're right. You're right.
She's gonna be big mad now.
Oh my god! I beat reversal wrong. No. Oh no. Well.
Here it goes again.
Okay, there we go.
Not the wrong.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Oops.
Yo, both missed. I'm missing. I'm whiffing.
Ooh.
Oh, fishy.
Yeah, that's a lot of end lag with that move. I learned that when I'm playing Crom, so I know that.
I learned the hard way.
Jesus, damn, that would have been like not.
I thought
game
that
point.
side B was honestly gonna hit.
No, I was.
If he,
I did the slow version. If I did the faster version, it would have.
Would it have killed?
Yes, I think it would have came close. It depends on character. If it was a lighter character, yeah. Oh man, I was trying to armor through. I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting. No way! I did fully charge. I did fully.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna fully charge it. I just mistimed it.
Yeah, I saw it because like you knew I was gonna just commit.
just countered.
Had the read, but
I honestly thought he
sometimes.
would have just countered me, and it was just went boom.
I should have. I never do that because it's
Yeah.
bit me in the ass before.
I don't know why, but you just saying that just makes me very laughy. I like that Fernand's just like watching. I don't think Fernand feels confident enough to go against us right now. Alright, Morbius.
Gotta get a feel for it first.
Oh, hello again.
Hello again. Fuck you again.
Please
Hey,
try.
Tails, long time no see.
Look, no platforms, just for you.
Oh, thanks, man. No,
You win.
no platforms, no problem.
So you get to run all over the place and do what you want.
Ah, damn, I actually thought that was gonna hit because you did your tilt there. Oh my god, no way!
Dude, that was jank as shit.
That's what I mean, man. Why is it only with you? Alright.
I meant to roll, but
I'm gonna keep doing that until it doesn't work anymore.
Hell, it almost worked later.
I knew you were gonna do that and still got hit by it. That's so bad.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah, failed the SDI.
Yep. Hey, come on, you gotta practice what we saw in the videos, bro.
Or I may have just been at too high of a percent that it didn't matter.
Once you're like at 100, and I think it also depends on stage, I will kill you with my upbeat. Ooh, good spot dodge.
Where are you going?
Dude, I was trying something nutty. Listen, it was gonna work. It was gonna work.
Sure, pal.
What the hell? I literally shielded.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'll take it.
Funny how the weak kick work.
There we go. Okay, I have just enough time to do that then.
Whoa, I just should not have air dodged there. No, why is it double rolling? Oh god.
It's okay, I did the same thing. Sometimes it will just force me to double roll, and I'm just like, that's not the option I wanted.
That shit on mine for you.
Yeah. This is why I like locals better.
Oh.
I was not trying to do that. I was trying to side do that.
Yeah. Alright, well, at least it happened to both of us. It's always worse when it's just one person.
It's funnier when it happens to you!
Ah!
I'm glad you're not rolling more, because, like, you see I'm trying to get you there. And as soon as I complimented you, you started rolling again.
Well, because that's when I felt it was the best option.
Nah, man. Never roll. Never roll.
Ah, damn.
Never try to parry me.
Man's aura farming.
I have that shit on lock.
Nah, I'm gonna catch you with that. It's gonna be the most cinematic shit ever. I want to parry you and then do that sweet spot up smash. It's gonna happen.
Okay, alright. I will not get mad when it happens, because it will be cinematic.
Exactly. I love doing
I can't get
parries.
mad at cinema.
Oh, here we go. The fabled
Oh boy.
rematch.
Ikuzo.
Oh,
Ikuzo
God.
Tora.
I already know how this is gonna go, but just what can I do about
Looks
it?
like we don't have a choice.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, Isabel things are already happening.
It made me, like, buffer a roll when I didn't want to.
Nice! Oh my god, nice.
Whoops, did not mean to do that.
Dang, I didn't know we were fishing. We fishing for punishes? Some whiffs? What are we fishing for today?
We're fishing for men.
Oh no! This song that's playing right now is a classic.
I'm playing in complete silence because I'm wearing these headphones.
Oh, I did not step on that.
You're playing in
Okay.
complete silence? It couldn't be me.
The only audio I have is the call, for the most part.
I like hearing music when I'm playing my fighting games. Like, even if it's not the... Oh, yeah. Even if it's not the music of said fighting game, but Smash has, like, just a wide variety of good music.
Ah, I thought I could get
I
there.
need to stop rolling.
I was literally telling Morbius that, like, it's very easy to read those options. Alright, I'm waiting to see some ledge slipping from you, Morbius. You gotta put that practice in the way. Oh, you could've did one there.
I could have.
I hate that a lot of the universal tech is gonna be useless to me just because I main Little Mac.
Pick up on another kid.
I mean, yeah,
Wait,
you do-
so, what
You
does
play
it look
PT,
like?
right?
Yeah, I play PT. I play other
Yeah.
characters. It's
Yeah,
just
just do it. Just do it with the other characters.
What look like the ledge slip thing?
yeah, like what actually happens when Little Mac does it? Because I think like literally no aerial would be good. Maybe like his down aerial, but even then, it's like, is it worth it?
Only when I found that with like, I guess working
Oh, come
with his back air.
Okay, and that's like,
But-
isn't that his slowest aerial out of all of them?
Yeah.
Because like every time I
But,
try to
like-
land the back air, it feels like I have to preemptively already have it out.
I mean, you probably do it with his neutral air since it's his fastest, but if anything, all it did was just make him drop like a fucking rock.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's so much end lag with the back air. That's why I never use the
So
back
you
air.
you would practically just be killing yourself.
Hmm. That sounds very funny to do to troll somebody on Quick Play or Elite Smash if they want to like go that hard for Little Mac, even though you don't have to. Oh, all
No
your
jump.
jumps. Yeah, I saw you waste all of them there. I was like, yep, that's it.
Oh no.
Alright, so far this is like about even, is kind of what I was expecting from these two.
This is the best I've ever done against Ronnie.
I love that you say this like you've been playing him like a lot of times, but this is the first time in like, how long now? Like a month? I don't know.
Oh, it's been a while.
Just about.
And then we got Ronnie who probably hasn't been practicing.
I haven't been playing at all.
Yeah, I figured. Going off of pure instinct.
Like I said, I play entirely off of vibes.
Just a vibing. I can't believe Ronnie's been aura farming this whole time. He's got the Subway Slammer energy. I fucking love that joke so much. It's so stupid, it's funny. Oh, that was an amazing backflip until you exploded.
Yeah. It's always
Morbin
happening.
time?
over there,
Yeah, that's the
buckaroo.
name. That's the name of one of my friends here, Ryan. His name is literally Morbius. So yes, it's Morbin time.
Like, actually.
Sama.
Oh crap. Okay. That doesn't kill. I thought I was dead.
You thought you were dead.
It's
Wait,
in kill range
I
now.
I recognize the name Snowy. Is that Swish? I'm pretty sure that's Swish, right?
That's Switch.
Okay, because like I remember Swish did change his name. Also, Swish, I know you're a monster
sayonara.
on Smash, because Mill still keeps me updated about you. So like, I don't want to go against your Terry, buddy. I don't.
Damn, that was tight.
You know what
Yeah.
else is tight? Never mind.
What?
Banned from the call.
You want to
That's
finish that?
okay.
No, I'm good.
Fuck you.
There is a certain individuals that don't need to be around for what I should be not saying.
Come on,
as
finish
a-
that sentence, bro.
Shut up!
Tomato.
Think of the people.
Wait, why did I say that? Just because he's at 11 doesn't mean he's hurt. He's still alive, isn't he?
I don't know.
Why did I say that? That is a funny quote.
Oh, because somebody hit 11 HP, like they were barely
All right, I
surviving.
just put it in the final on my other monitor. I'm ready to game.
Oh, okay, you're ready to game. You know what? Let's look at some more. Let's look at some more quotes said by me and my friends. Let's see.
This doesn't look good for you.
No, this does not. Morbius, here's another quote, because I have like a wide variety of quotes I've said during my time of streaming. One is said, "Yes! Lick me, not doggy!" I don't know why I said that. Oh my god. I get a bigger boner for pizza than for Hannah. I still stand by that statement.
That is insane.
Dude, I love pizza that much. It makes me feel some type of way.
That is
I'm
on
at
the
a home
record.
field disadvantage right now because I don't usually play with platform.
Oh, dude, this is like Little Mac's like bread and butter, so the platforms is his best friend.
Oh god, I gotta get this back to Smash the Lake.
Oh yeah, Malik, man, you're hitting that kind of whiplash, yeah.
It hurts.
I know, dude, it hurts for like the first few matches. Oh, so I knew it! It was Swish! But yeah, Swish, if you want to come to the... Oh, God. If you want to come to Arena, you definitely can. The ID will pop up after this match. So, like, after we get done with this, nobody confirms. So, Swish can join in. Because I actually don't remember the ID. I should really just put that on the stream.
You could leave it up as like a graphic or something.
I could. That's what I'm thinking. Password? 564. My classic numbers.
Don't know what happened there, but I'll take it.
Wait, can
Oh,
you,
good, I'm
like,
not-
neutral be Isabel's, like, little down rocket thing?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Never tried.
I mean, oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say
well.
try it there. I think it's only
Well,
the
Warcraft again
explosion
wouldn't
that
fucking
would
make me-
stop you.
I feel like you could, but
Yeah, because it's a multi-hit. Yep, okay,
Okay.
yep. Oh!
Nice.
Oh! Oh my god! Malik was boxing! He couldn't handle the big D. From you guys' perspective, it's gonna sound like I'm saying out-of-pocket quotes, because I'm just reading quotes that I've said in the past. Oh, too high
oh,
percentage
would
for
that have gone into Rocket?
Oh, yes. Lower percentages? Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
Like, I've seen a lot of Isabel play. Not because of Ronnie, but I have one friend who played Isabel a lot, and I was always pissed off at that combo because, like, it was really good, but I still hated it.
I don't know if I've ever had that one done to me.
Yeah, I don't think Ronnie had a chance of doing that to you.
Because to me, it looked new, so if it did happen to me, I forgot.
You definitely forgot. Get him. Get him.
I don't want it that. Dude. You got it.
There's just a quote with someone burping. That's great.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. That was when I was playing Mario Kart 7. Back when online was alive. Don't be scared, Ronnie. Just grab him. Fish. Just fish.
Oh.
Re-downloading a specific game. Won't play tonight, but I can in the future. I'm assuming you're trying to get Smash back. Damn, am I really single-handedly just getting all my friends back to Smash?
That'd be awesome.
I don't expect my other friends to play this like I am, because like I'm playing this on a different kind of level since I'm practicing for a tournament. They can play however they want, because it'll still help me anyway, because sporadic play styles, you're gonna run into all types of different play in the game, so play how you guys want. It doesn't mean I'll like it, but play as you want.
Keyword.
Yaro. Anase.
Ronnie, what are you doing? I can't understand what you're saying!
It's aura farming, trust.
Apparently so. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, okay. He was able. He didn't lose his side B. No! What was that? What was that?
That was down tilt.
Oh my god!
I'm more surprised that it killed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How the fuck is that kill?
Down tilt, Isabel. When you're close enough, it will kill.
Oh my god.
That's stupid.
Stupid.
I like to throw it out as a last resort. You never see it.
Oh,
I hardly use it, but when I do, I make sure it matters.
Alright, Fishy versus Ronnie. I don't think
All right.
Fishy got a chance to go against Ronnie yet, so this is somebody new for Fish.
Are
Could be
you
a
ready?
fresh matchup, yeah.
He's a pretty
Oh
quiet.
boy, it's a Pichu.
He's a pretty quiet individual. He speaks more with his actions, Ronnie.
Feels
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
aura.
use
I like
a,
it.
Or
a reply
farming
in
his own
game.
way.
Remember, guys, Fishy's always aura farming.
Oh, I have to be careful. Pichu's a small one.
Oh my
That's
god.
exactly why.
Yeah, exactly like that. If it was like anybody else, you would have had them. But no, since it's Pichu. Fishy, how much do you actually play of Pichu? Because I think I've only seen it a few times.
Not that much.
Okay. Fishy is Piccolo, not clickbait. Dude, all Fishy needs is the fit now. He just needs to wear the Piccolo fit and he got it. You tend to pick him up at a point and got so frustrated, so dying so early. Oh, actually, I could share some lore about my last tournament I went to, like in July. I was actually going against a Pichu against Little Mac. They came close to beating me because, like, unfortunately, Pichu is tiny, so like I have to like angle my fucking smashes because like literally Pichu kept ducking everything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Jank hitbox.
Yeah. It was a really good match, though. The guy got... Alright, now this is where I think the guy was aura farming or on some fucking crazy shit. He was at 150 as Pichu, and that's versus Little Mac. Tell me how the fuck he was living. Like, I don't even know. He was doing
That
some
is
crazy
insane.
shit. Yeah. He should have
I
been
used to
dead.
name Pichu for a while, now that I'm thinking about it.
Dang, I want to see some I want to see some Pichu action now. You gotta play some Pichu tonight.
Must have been hitting that triple DI.
Yeah. Oh. Get him!
Oh.
Ah!
Oh,
How fragile are the balloons? Like, are they easy to break? Or
they break in one hit.
Yeah, they are
Okay.
easy to break.
It's just that, you know, Isabel's get tricky with it.
Mhm.
And also, she does a small jump
Oh, no.
whenever they break.
Man, tiny Pichu hours. Oh. Hey, yo. Oh, oh shit! Dang, Fishy had something there for sure. Oh! Come on, Fishy. Oh. Oh, okay, Fishy DI'd. Okay, nice.
good DI.
What is this?
It's data input.
Overs?
I'm sorry, but the exterminator called.
Malik, it's time to go back to this universe too. Oh no! Oh, okay, you know what? I'm putting a challenge on you tonight, Ronnie. You need to kill everybody with your tilts. You already killed a down tilt and forward tilt. Kill with your up tilt now.
Alright, now that's gonna be an impossibility.
I know forward tilt kills. I just never seen
Up
anyone
tilt
do
does
that.
not kill.
No, I want to see it
need to be
happen. You
very
got
high.
to make it happen. You killed the 2 tilts tonight. I need to see up tilt kill.
I'm gonna have to be stalling hard.
All right, stall me.
I mean, you're light enough for sure. I think. Is Mac a lightweight? I think he is.
Wait, say that again.
I said it's Mac's light, right? I'm pretty
He
sure.
is light. It feels like I can't like do much. Like, oh my god, we're already getting to the good shit.
we are balling early.
Yeah.
Bro, just camp on the platform.
I'm getting back in my groove.
Oh my god, I'm trying to like down tilt it and not like run into it, but I do. Okay, there we go. I can do that.
I tried that. It didn't work. It just got me caught in the thing.
Oh, I could do that. That's interesting. Oh damn, should have up smashed. Oh my god, I need to get better at seeing that range because like I literally thought it was fine. I know that can catch me. I've learned my lesson on that, at least. There we go. Okay. Go! Die! There we go. God!
Yeah, I told you down tilt doesn't work.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to do a smash attack to get rid of that shit. What the fuck? Okay, I can't do it after that.
Ah, man, you killed my bridge.
Oh, dang, I was trying to smash you.
Oh.
Alright. Oh, I mean, you know what? Fair, fair. That was good. I'm like, where is he going?
Yeah, no.
Oh my.
Very close.
Nice TI.
Ow, why, man? Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh my god, I was not paying attention. I was not paying
there
attention.
it is. Was that a taunt right there?
Maybe.
Are you gonna take that, Vex?
I can do that.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh, I might fall to my own hubris for that taunt.
Oh dang, I thought I would have been fine.
Oh,
Okay.
there's the
get up-
combo, yeah.
Yeah, get up attack won't work there then. I could do that.
But is I think that still would have hit if he came closer.
Yeah. Oh no! Okay, I did the slow version of the side B, that's why I didn't come out.
And there is the tilt.
You still would have got hit.
Would I? Or I
Yes.
It would have traded, wouldn't it have?
No, it would. Even if it did trade, you still would have died. But
It's because
I
of
think,
startup
like,
frames.
it takes like a bit for Matt to actually swing before he even does, even if it is the fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should
Yeah,
have
that's
did.
the- that's
I
the
should have
startup
did
frames.
the faster version, the freaking turnaround version. I think that would have been my only way.
Oh, welcome back.
Hello.
Back for more.
First one was good. I hope we can replicate that.
Let's not.
Replicate. Kill him. Kill it with fire.
It's been a lot of FDs. I did set it to Battlefield random and FD random, so I've been seeing more FD here.
Well, that's just up to the game, I guess.
Yeah, I had to set it like that because poor Morbius, like, we had, like, a viewer come into the room, and then, like, he got unlucky, and they had their thing set to random. It was the Mario Bros. Stage, so he was getting constantly comboed by Bayo on that stage. That was just, like, so upsetting to watch.
I mean, you can go. I mean, there's not acting, and then there was that.
Yeah.
Like,
going against Bayo is already annoying, but then you got a stage where she can really just fucking, like, lay it on you. Man, upsetting.
I mean, I would have lost anyway. but
Man, good
I wouldn't
mindset,
want
Morbius.
it, like on a jank.
You don't understand how to fight Bayo? That's me. It feels like Little Mac can't do anything, and I think it's just because I don't fight Bayo enough. I know if I actually fought more, I would actually start understanding.
I mean, I fought her a lot in 4. It's kind of more or less the same shit. Same shit, except her shit barely works sometimes.
Yeah. Oh!
Now, playing her, I don't fuck her. I tried to do that combo like 1 time. I've gotten down like 2 times ever in my life.
So the combo is still hard to execute.
It was easier in 4, but doing it in Ultimate's kind of more difficult. Especially because if you fuck it up, you get stuck in like hella inlag.
See, Morbius, this is why you shouldn't feel bad.
Fine.
Ooh, nice.
That was slow.
Oh, shit.
Miro.
Oh! Was that the down tilt? Like, what the fuck did I watch?
Oh, that was
I
my
don't know
back tilt.
what that was.
Oh, okay.
That was a well-timed back tilt.
Ah, the spacing.
Just off, barely.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Dang, Ronnie's about to do the Isabel special.
Trying to bridge ya.
Ah, shit. Roll in.
Oh, that killed? What the
I
hell?
didn't TI. I was.
Oh, okay.
accepted I died.
I was gonna say, like, how in the world did that kill?
I gave up a little too quickly there.
That's why they say it's not over till it's over. I'll always try to DI, even if it's not possible, I'll try. Oh.
Oh, what?
Now that should not have killed.
I don't know how that killed, because I did DI. I guess it was bad DI.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh. Okay. It looked like Isabel could act just a bit sooner from that clash.
We love some jank.
Yeah.
What
Yo.
is some characters
Oh no! Your jumps! Your jumps!
Yeah.
Morbius locked it down, and then Ronnie was like, "I'm going fishing tonight."
I totally forgot that was possible.
Yeah, you were.
Sorry for robbing you.
It's fine.
Dude, Ronnie literally fished for that W and snatched it out of Morbius's hands there. Wow.
I kind of feel bad with that one.
No, don't.
That was your win.
It was the closest I've
Sorry,
gotten.
I should have lost.
Man,
alright.
what are this? Alright, Fernan, it's your first time back in a while. Are you afraid? Because you should.
I mean, I don't know. I could surprisingly a tough one for me.
Alright, we'll see. I mean, Fernan said they haven't even found a main yet, but maybe it's Ike. We just don't know it yet.
I mean, we do like Ike.
Yeah, make use of that Nair for sure, and his back air. It's like best tools for Ike.
Raw forward smash.
Forward smash.
The raw forward smash.
Mr. Nair. Yeah, that's literally Ike. If you see Ike spamming Nair, it's like one of his fastest moves. Oh. Amateur. Oh, bye, Ike.
Streak, those crazy.
Yeah. Ike never... Ike, you showed up to the wrong game, dude. You're not supposed to be getting, like, tossed around like this. And fucking, like, Radiant Dawn, he's a monster. But here, he's not.
I'm sorry, but you're in my hometown. I have to look good for my people.
That is completely valid.
Dude, there's the mayor in the car right there. I'm literally watching the background. You can't watch. You guys can't watch it because you're fighting, but I can.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I can enjoy that as well.
That's actually really cool. What island is this? Is this New Leaf? I think this is New Leaf. I'm pretty sure the backdrop.
Yeah, this is New Leaf.
Okay. No, they didn't change it, or did they? Like, was it different in Smash 4? Oh.
I swear it last bit now. It wasn't still New Leaf.
Facts, look, the car's back.
Yeah.
I think it was still New Leaf in 4.
Okay. Also, I really like the attention to detail. Look at the sky. Oh, nice. Good job, Fernan. Look at the sky with the constellations. You could actually make your own constellations in Animal Crossing, which is pretty neat.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. I think it was only one game, which it's funny. It's referencing the game on Wii. That you could. I don't think you could do that in New Leaf, but I could be wrong because I didn't unlock everything in New Leaf.
I only played the DS one.
Oh, the DS one is another good one. You
Final
know
World.
we can emulate that one and then actually play online on it.
Mm.
You can actually do that with New Leaf now with Pretendo.
Oh, can you? Wait, so I can still keep all my stuff from 3DS because I've been playing that game for years.
Yep, all you need is Pretendo.
Let's go. Oh no!
Hate to see it.
I literally feel that pain, Fernan. Everyone has done that at least once in their Smash career where they fast followed and
Yep.
it was over.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Yeah.
That one hurts.
You're one of us for sure.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
to the club. Welcome to the club.
Welcome
Welcome,
to
Scooter.
Welcome, Scooter. Oh, Roy. Okay.
Roy.
Oh, it's Roy.
You're playing
He's our
Roy.
It's
boy.
all the Fire Emblem.
Yeah, so much Fire Emblem here. I might have to like go play.
I picked the Fire Emblem character.
Ah,
I have
yes,
to go.
Flare Badge, my favorite gaming franchise.
It's time to go play Lucina now.
Whoa. Very hot start.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is the fire guy.
I know Swish is good at Smash. I never really got to fight Swish in Smash, but I knew he was experienced.
I mean, he literally wields the Blazing Blade.
But the game sucks.
Yeah, it's so funny. Roy is only good because of Smash. If you go play his actual Fire Emblem game, it's
Yeah,
so
I know.
ass.
He's actually dog water in that game.
It's so
I don't want to
upsetting.
talk about it.
It's so upsetting because I actually really like Roy's design
Oh,
because like,
gosh.
it's literally Elwood, but if he was actually like better designed, because like I just like Roy better.
I did not mean to do that.
Wait, how many Fire Emblem fans do we have in this voice call right now? I think we have 3 is what I'm gonna call out.
I wouldn't call myself a Fire Emblem fan, but I'm a Fire Emblem appreciator.
Okay, so that means 3 of us.
I haven't played it, but I'd say I'm an appreciator.
Okay, I gotta get you to play it then, because you would definitely like it. Fire Emblem literally is essentially fucking chess. That literally is chess.
Oh well, hell yeah.
I can't do my normal tricks with this guy's Roy.
Yeah, it looks like
I gotta play a different game.
Yeah, we got a new king here. It looks like Swish will probably be in the ring for a while now.
I'm gonna play a different game with you.
So, what do you think, Morbius? Observing him, I don't think he's playing quite like Brooks, but like he does have it down.
I'm noticing, the main thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of movement going on. He's almost never standing still.
Oh shit! Almost got the read on that shit. Oh.
That right there was a cinematic spot dodge.
Yeah. Like Ronnie
What's
saw
that?
his life flash before his eyes. Oh!
Nice. Excellent. Excellent,
Yeah,
you got
that
me.
was a banger there.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I faced a Roy, let alone one that was playing that well.
Much respect.
I'm gonna change up my character. Let's see. Let's get a feel for somebody else.
Malik, when's the last time you went against Swish?
I don't know, like... I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, I know you two fought in Smash, because, like, I was definitely not really on the Smash hype like everybody else. It took me a lot longer. I was a late burn. Switch says he hates this matchup. Is this matchup actually in Sephiroth's favor?
I do not know this matchup chart for these two.
I mean, I've never seen this matchup, so this is completely new to me.
I mean, maybe Sephiroth because of range and projectile, but I don't...
I mean, Swish said he doesn't like this matchup, so it must be a little bit more unfavorable for Roy. Maybe it's the freaking sword, the fact that, like, his range is just better.
Yeah. Sephiroth is supposed to be terrible for Mario, but I actually don't mind the matchup.
I mean, you saw with how they revealed Sephiroth. Mario survived, because Mario's just good.
He lived.
Can you imagine if Sephiroth actually impaled Mario? If Mario was in the Final Fantasy universe, he would have got impaled.
I would have been pissed.
No!
I'm too low.
I was gonna say, I thought his recovery was a little bit better than that, especially if you fully charge it.
Did he not have wings yet?
No. I think he has to be, like, losing, which is... Isn't it over 100, Malik?
Depends on how...
Because I know it's Sephiroth's comeback mechanic. That's, like, all I know, but I don't know much else about it. Oh.
That almost killed.
I think if, oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's why you save your jump.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
That's another thing I need to work on, is saving my jump more.
Yeah, you're pretty good at saving your jumps, but, like, literally the match with Ronnie, like, proved that, like, he just abused the fact that you, like, went all in.
Yeah. To be fair, that's because I thought I was gonna land it for sure, and when I missed, I was like, well, shit.
Malik is surviving, and Swish is, like, going out for pleb.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Oh! Oh, that was some good shit. oh no. Yep, I knew that was coming, because, like, that would have killed him. Ooh,
It's fine,
let's
it's
see what
fine,
Malik's
trust.
doing. Dang, is Malik in the zone? I kind of feel it. I think he's finally getting used to the fucking Wi-Fi again. oh shit. Ooh.
If that was me, I would have said, how did he act there? But I'm not playing.
Yeah, no worries there, right?
For sure.
I just find it funny that Roy hit that away, the little fucking projectile. Like, what the fuck? Oh, okay, good grab.
Oh, grab through it, nice.
Yeah, Malik doesn't even pop that move that often. That's why that's an amazing reaction there. Oh.
Also, for the viewers at home, that is capable.
Thank you for the Mario insight, Morbius. Also, for the viewers at home, Dr. Mario's better.
That is not true.
Listen, let me believe.
You can believe all you want, it doesn't make it facts.
Now, if I change it to fact, then you can't refute it, because then I have undeniable proof.
That is fair.
For the viewers at home, it's okay to be neutral on this stance.
Oh, he just got his wing too. This might actually be the turning point for Malik.
Clutch.
Oh, that move changes when he gets the wing. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is still anyone's game because, like, despite him being over
Can he
100,
bring it back?
possible. But okay.
Oh, the
Damn.
turnaround that would have countered.
The wrong way.
It was the right decision. It's just somehow it got turned around.
I might have been holding the stick the other way. Oh well.
It'd be like that.
F in the chat for that one. That was a good match.
Fishy's neck, they get thrown into the blender.
Well, I forgot how much that shit felt to like get rushed down. That shit hurt.
If you want rush
That's
down,
what I've
play
been
me.
doing to people?
Trust.
Nah, cookie. That was good.
Okay, Fire Emblem versus Fire Emblem. Actually, don't know who has the
Alright.
leeway on this. Watch the flow of my movement while I demonstrate.
That was Brooks to us yesterday.
Morbius, please, bro. You're not wrong, but now I'm gonna think of Brooks in the way it's like, allow me to demonstrate my power to you, and then literally
I
cuts
had
to
to
2
say
hours
it.
later.
I had to say it. It was too good of an opportunity.
Yeah, Ronnie, you missed it. I should have invited you yesterday because we all got fucked by this one viewer that came in and just like rocked us. I think they unironically made random.
They were
No,
bored.
During the game.
The Bayonetta was too good.
Yeah, I think because we asked them to play as their main or the character they're most comfortable with, and then we found out it was Bayonetta, and I was like, fuck.
Dude, that
Good
match you had
Bayonetta's the one to
against
be
them
afraid of.
was just insane.
Yeah. Oh no. Roy things. I hate you, Morbius. I've been ruined. He said, now return to your original position. He's like, I'm going to, like, ledge trap you now. Ooh! Nice job, Fishy. Nice up smash. That was great. So that can catch short hopping. Okay. I'm trying to analyze each match since I get to just sit here and watch for a while.
That's the benefit when you have more people in.
I do not have an arena command.
Yeah, Snowy's Roy really has some very fancy footwork.
Yeah. Speaking of footwork, you should come to the boxing gym with me. Oh no!
Way. No way.
Fishy, what happened? Were you trying to parry?
It doesn't matter.
Damn. That's
It
how
didn't work.
is.
That's all that mattered.
It didn't work. That's all that matters.
Did that shield poke? I don't know. It looked like Fishy
No,
might...
it poked him.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, that was actually a shield poke.
It poked him on the head.
Okay, there's the ID for the arena right there. B0VP4, and then the password is 564. I don't have this stuff set up because, like, I'd kind of have this arena more open to, like, friends. I mean, different days will be viewers, too. Minecraft. Thank you, Fernan. I appreciate you so much.
You Adderall infused character.
Nice combo.
I don't think he has anything where you can do that.
I thought his, neutral.
Except that.
Yeah. I wanted to see if he'd just run into me. Nope, I'm still living.
That's how you gotta be.
Oh my god! Ah, damn it.
You can
Wrong
live.
way.
Oh.
I could have lived, I know.
That was
Okay,
a
I can.
diagonal
Okay, that
launch.
one.
I remember when that shit could like one shot you in fucking 4 because of a bug it had.
Oh.
It was very funny.
Oh, wow. I honestly didn't think he was coming back. Like, I
Make
actually
sure
thought
he
it was
doesn't come
bad.
back.
Nope.
Oh, nice counter.
There we go. That's what I need to do on you. I need to actually wait until the last second, because, like, my mindset, I could abuse the fucking counter, because, like, you know, it lasts forever.
I like counter heavy.
Ah! Oh, man.
Jump into it.
Gotta get it at least once. Oh, I might live. Nope. No, he covered his options there. I would have came back, though, if he didn't do that. Yeah, let's go! Nair, baby! Nair!
Ooh.
Ooh, that I did that by accident. That up air was an accident. Yeah!
Oh my god. Excellent.
I never did that before. Keep that in the tank. I need that saved. Holy shit!
That replay. I'm saving that replay.
Oh, that needs to happen at the tournament. Wow.
Dude.
Okay, so I'll explain what happened. I've only watched that ever happen. I never did it. So you do 2 nairs into an up smash, and if you get the sweet spot, you win. Holy shit. Oh my god. Alright, that is my moment. I peaked tonight, guys.
That's the Hood Classic.
Yep, my Hood Classic.
Oh, wait.
Alright, we're waiting for Swish because I see he's picking his character.
He's gonna switch to Terry.
He's like, wait a second, I'm not getting rocked anymore, Terry time.
He's gonna switch to Terrence Boogard.
Oh yeah, I did want to ask you, Switch, since we never really got to play Smash together, what did you think of my Little Mac? I gotta ask all my friends I don't really play against them.
Ah, yeah. Oh.
Oh, not yet, okay. Oh, that was nice. Oh, mine came out first!
Damn frame data.
Curse your frame data.
Curse you, frame data! Oh my god! All I had to do was wait a bit longer.
Got him on the counter.
You did. Ooh, let's go. I got your backflip. I
Got
love
me on the
getting
cancel.
Yep.
I shielded.
No. There we go.
Yeah, that I don't think that was DIable.
Oh, nice. I did not try to counter there, but sometimes it'd be like that.
Stop buffering.
I'm not trying to, man. Ah, I almost had him on the jump.
Almost got him.
Yeah. Oh, again. I did it again.
Dude, every time.
Every time you try to get that cape out.
It is literally a soul read.
Oh, nice tech.
What the fuck?
I sometimes short hop up air. It kind of catches people. It's like one of those options that shouldn't work, but it does.
I mean, I know it can't be like above, but...
Ah! Hi. What? How did that not hit my shield? That's what is more surprising there. Yahoo! Yahoo! Yahoo!
Yahoo.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wanted to see what you would do there.
Shit armor.
What are you doing? You came to me! Why did you come to me?
I went for the reverse psych.
Oh, okay. Ah, that's unfortunate.
Couldn't get the second hit out.
We were literally boxing there. Another soul read!
Well, the soul.
Whoops.
Okay, that's still somehow picked up.
Oh! Yeah.
Damn.
I can't believe that reach. That was actually...
I'm actually surprised that reach, because usually that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Holy shit.
I didn't think I was gonna reach.
Yeah, wow. This is my night. Nah, let's not have too big of an ego. I'll probably get defeated by the Ike.
It'll be Ike.
Would ask for comments on my Ike, but I think my rest is showing. Give it time. I would give it more time. I can give you more pointers after you play the game with us more. Because, like, you already told me you haven't played in a while. So, I don't want to make any preemptive judgments on your play style right now. Persona 4. I'll face myself. That's not myself.
Who?
Oh, dang.
I'll kill.
Okay, that should never work. Like that grab I just did.
Nah, you're working for just not a bitch. Anything is true if you ain't a bitch.
This is why I love Malik Morbius.
I see the vision.
You can see.
Oh,
Could have
nice.
did it. You could have did it.
I know. Oh, what the fuck?
That was some jank right there.
Okay.
Same brain cell?
Yep. You gotta have the same brain.
Same brain, same brain.
Hi.
How long are you playing till?
I don't know, for a little bit.
Can you end it by 2?
I'll try, okay.
Oh, I got a bedtime.
I don't have a bedtime. I think she just doesn't like me making noise.
There.
It's valid. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, accidental view reversal.
And now you're dead.
I know.
Alright, now do it again. Now do it again. Now do it again.
Okay, Malik.
Now just walk up and do it again. Now do it again.
Oh no. Yuppie.
No, let's get over there. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Now do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
I didn't have
do it
it.
again, bro.
I didn't have it.
Do it again anyway.
Okay, I'll keep doing it. Oh, there you go.
See?
Come on, we can't do that to Fern, and he's still undoing the rust. That was so evil.
Oh no, that was for both of y'all.
Oh,
Just
my-
keep doing it. And it was working for him.
Yeah?
Where am I?
It's a war every day.
It's a battle.
Ah, Joker. Your only love
Joker?
that you couldn't get in Persona 5X.
Well, at least I have him here.
Dude, that's because you paid $5. And then with Joker and Persona 5X, spending your life
Attention,
savings.
all proud warriors!
What didn't you
Have
say
you
the
ever
right thing?
Yeah, I
considered
didn't spend
joining
a
Time
dime.
Patrol?
It's okay.
I just spend everything the game gave me.
Yeah.
Once he gets his win button, you lose. Or something. I don't fuck it up. Persona.
Yep, there's the Persona.
And then
My
you
win
take,
button
like,
is here.
Fuck ton of damage.
Oh!
Never mind.
The win button is gone.
My win button is gone. I can no longer play the game anymore.
That was so funny. I lost my side B, so that's why I didn't do anything.
I just got too greedy and was under the stage.
Yeah, you... Okay, you gotta stop doing that. I've been against Jokers that like reflecting.
That does reflect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't seen like anyone play Joker since like
Bye-bye?
kind of stuff.
You're lightweight, just like me.
I haven't seen Joker in forever.
No! Oh, just kidding.
No, but
I just wanted
your
to
life
like put
flashed
some...
before your eyes.
I had to put some suspense there. Okay. I'm gonna just
How many
I'm
up
gonna
tilts will he
I'm
eat?
gonna just
You honestly could have just punched him there.
I know.
That was free.
Oh, that's upwards.
Ah,
No, 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 no.
I want it. Just
No,
give
I
it-
know you do.
Just give it to me.
I tried.
I want it. I need it for free.
Hey, look, you can't play the game. You're not a character anymore.
Dang it.
Yeah, you're just a high schooler.
I'm just an ordinary boy. Just a boy with a dream.
Get out of here, boy.
Just a boy with a dream.
Well, the
Technically,
boy's
this
dream
fight
is
could-
still only that, a dream.
Damn.
Technically, this fight's perfectly fine because they're both of the same age.
Oh yeah, I forget. Was it Morbius? Somebody told me is like Little Mac should not be beating on a kid. And I'm like, Joker's probably like 16 or 17, and Little Mac is 18. It's fine.
Joker goes to the gym too, so I mean he's fine.
Yeah, Joker literally doesn't do the same training as like Little Mac, but Joker, it's canon that he conditions himself. So like, I think the fight would probably be even if they're just two normal humans fighting.
He'd be fucking punching.
I mean, dude, have you seen Little Mac's liver shots? Like, you're not getting up.
To be fair, Little Mac does canonically fight Donkey Kong.
Yep. Like, he survived, too. Ow. Wait, Malik, why are you blue?
Black.
Damn.
Donkey Kong's a gorilla. Or an ape. Or both. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Somebody educate me.
No, I don't want to educate you.
No.
I was like, come on, roll into me. I've done it against a tournament Sonic where they were just like, oh yeah, this is gonna work. I mean, I already know you know. Oh.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant the upbeat.
I've also seen that happen, and it's unfortunate. Damn it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, damn it. Damn it, I'm gonna do it. Help me. Help me.
I was trying to support you.
I know.
Or is this where I camp or something?
Yeah, come on. Be like every other Sonic Online. Just camp. Oh, hey, look.
Okay.
My shit box came out. I'm not even joking. That is what it's called.
I know what it's called.
No, I know. I'm talking about the other people in the call. I don't know if anybody else knows. I know
Yeah,
I
they
taught
get
it to
fucked.
Morbius.
I have the lore, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't do that. If you do... Okay, if you do that move, I can go through it. I can go through a decent amount of Sonic's moves. Oh, fuck. What the hell?
Oh no, Matt can go through a lot of Sonic moves. I meant the forward smash? Okay.
Nah, you don't need to. Hey, look,
Oh.
armor. Now this is actually when you camp.
This is where I just do this, right?
Yep, yep. Come on,
First
keep
step,
going.
right?
Aw, damn.
First step, right?
I wanted that error. Fuck you. Dude, this is like some grade A gameplay. This is actually what you would see from a Sonic. Malik's just teaching us that Sonic's annoying. Like, literally, this is what Sonic will do. Whee! Oh my god.
No.
Oh, why did that work?
Sonic is in this game and all. It's a
Okay,
shame he
funny.
never hits the Sonic Adventure pose.
Dude, I know, right? Like, missed opportunity much.
That's like the most iconic part of Sonic's iconography. Where is it?
Man, Malik, I can't
Where's my
believe this
F8
are stronger than Spin Dash. Oh.
I didn't mean to do that.
Swish, you missed Malik SDing twice because Sonic.
Yeah, because Sonic. I can do it. It's just been forever.
Yeah.
Please be patient. I have like 2 years of rust to uncover.
Oh, I really wanted you to say the other line. Please be patient. I have autism. that hat that says that.
I mean, that's who I got. Why do you think I'm playing Sonic?
Remember, guys, I have ADHD.
But why else would I play Sonic?
My brain goes unga bunga when I forward smash. That's all I need.
See, he gets it. He gets it.
Yes.
That's why
Okay.
we play Mac. We're just that dumb.
Also, Fishy is actually locking in because now he's playing Zelda. So now I actually gotta stop fucking around.
He has to try now.
Damn, wrong way.
Zelda has arrived
Yep.
with an insane parry.
Woo! Let's duck. Oh!
No more playing around. Gonna pick out my true main.
What the fuck?
I mean, Rushdown can work on Sonic. You just gotta make it work somehow.
You do have to make it work.
Like, it takes a lot. I know, because fucking Sonic does that shit sometimes.
Damn.
But I can't play this character like I used to because I haven't touched this game in like God knows how long.
Oh, I could have did a fucking sick platform like combo there. unfortunate for me.
Press forward smash. Do it again. Alright, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do like 5 forward smashes in a row and see what happens.
Okay.
Non-dial? Eh?
See? Told you it works.
It
They
actually,
never see it coming.
It actually does. I mean, Fishy heard you in the call and it still happened. I don't know if Fishy did it for the bit. He could have. He could have just did it for the bit.
Maybe. Maybe not. Was it for the bit, Fishy?
He will answer at another
We'll never
time.
know.
Fishy, I respect that. Also, I know you can two-frame that. It's just, God, the timing is tighter with that Zelda thing.
I don't even try with that shit.
I don't blame you, because, like, I've only got it off him once with the two-frame, and it's so fucking
I
hard.
only try it with recoveries I know damn well are not going to touch that legend time.
You mean, like, Mario's recovery?
Yeah, because sometimes
Now
they just...
that I'm thinking about it, how you
They
fellas
just
think
don't do
about Silk Song coming out finally?
Oh, dude, I just wish I could still keep the joke rolling. That's the only thing I'm sad about.
Honestly, same.
We got to bring back All Reliable, bro. Bring out Mother 3 or something.
I could
Where's
have just
Mother
killed
3?
Fishy. I don't know why I did the down-angled version.
You want more damage.
Yeah, you're right. I need to go more Unga Boga. Oh!
Aww.
There we go. I heard a chocolate bar call.
Chocolate bar.
Okay, I get to face my viewer. I wasn't sure if I'd be in the ring long enough to actually face the viewer here. So, judging by their name, do they actually play Lucario?
Bro's fighting Lucario IRL.
Okay, well, I fought against Fishy's Lucario, but everyone plays differently, so let's see how this Lucario fights.
Oh boy, it's John Lucario.
Hey guys, I'm just fighting Goku. No shot.
John Cario. No, they know what they're doing. I see that.
I do see the movement. The movement's kind of
I see the
clean.
movement. Not kill him.
I will try. Oh, okay, yeah, just jump
he's
on
just-
my head. Yes.
He's just letting you do all that so he can get more aura, so he can aura farm.
Max your aura.
He's
That
literally
is
aura
literally
farming.
Lucario. You're right.
He is literally aura farming.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Almost. Man.
Somebody's thirsty.
Yep.
Bro wanted it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. I've seen Fishy do that on me.
Because it's free.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Bro just
Alright.
ate 38 for breathing.
Oh god, yeah. That
Bro
was...
just ate 56 for breathing.
Yeah.
Don't you love Max? Well, that's not even Max aura, but
Not yet. Oh. Dang. Okay. There was
Pretty
something I was
sure-
trying there.
punched it.
There we go. God, that is diabolical.
And it's free.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I was getting caught. You got a communication error and you were next in line? Ah. Oh shit! I was about to do something crazy, Malik.
We'll kill him.
Dang, okay, nice grab. Oh no.
Gap stalling.
Bro's getting jab locked.
Yeah.
Alright, bro, a lot of this shit, I'm pretty sure you can just... You can just mash.
Okay.
I'm like more than
Aw.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, I didn't get 3 stocked. I don't think anything's gonna feel like fucking Brooks from yesterday.
Pretty high bar.
Yeah, Brooks set a very high bar for like a random viewer coming out of nowhere and rocking us all in the arena.
Yeah. Alright, this will be my last one, then I gotta dip.
Okay. Dang, you usually stay up late. What the fuck? Man, you betrayed me, dude.
I'm gonna cry now.
Gonna cry? Little Goblin Jr. gonna cry. Morbius going against Lucario right now. I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
This is a very uncommon matchup for me.
I never seen that Lucario used counter once against me and then used it against you within the first like 8 seconds.
Different matchup, I guess.
Yeah. To be honest, they could have literally.
Oh, boy.
Oh my fuck. Yeah, Fishy was not that clean.
Guy's moving.
Yeah, Fishy was not that clean with the fucking combos. If Fishy was like that, I don't think I'd be able to beat his Lucario.
I'd have to learn Lucario.
Yeah, I know you just play him more for fun. Yeah, oh my god, this person knows what they're doing. God, playing a competent Lucario kind of scary.
This person plays the game.
This might be another person that randomly found my stream and just casually has over 1,000 hours in the game, because like that's kind of what happened yesterday.
Why does it always have to happen to us?
That's usually where they come from.
Dude, this
I mean,
is why
I was that
this
way.
is why I don't like streaming this game, because I casually get a person that's like, yeah, I play this game a little bit, looks at their hours. Oh, they casually have 5,000 hours in the game. It's just like, yeah, guys, I got at least 500 hours. I'm getting there.
You sound like Deku.
Man, I wish I could make a wage off of playing this. Because man, I would be rich.
Dude,
I would be a
you're
very rich
playing
man.
the game for real. Oh, your Switch had to update? Okay. Ooh, good fairy. Shit. Come on, Morbius, I feel it. This is your last match for tonight. Make it good for the people.
Alright, heard.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a really... It sucks you up. I don't know if you can
I have
jump out
never
of it.
seen anyone do that before.
I've seen Fishy do that. Oh. Jesus Christ. You're still living, though. Barely, but living. They literally just need to touch you. Yeah. Wow.
Nope, still
Oh, the DI
God.
tech worked.
Yeah, you, dude. The fucking data worked today. It's a good thing I had you study. All right, come on.
Our new goal: prevent the 3-stock.
Yeah. Come on, dude. I didn't get 3 stocked. You can do it too. I believe.
I wish I were playing as Isabel for this.
Oh, who are you playing now? Joker still?
Yeah, I'm still in Joker.
Oh, damn. You're gonna get cooked. You gotta bring out the Terrans. You gotta, Swiss. You have to at this point.
Oh boy, almost died there.
Oh, watch out. Yeah! Let's get it. He's breaking it down. Oh, no. Oh. Oh! Okay, time stopped right there. Morbius is like, look at me, bitch. I'm going to throw you and you're gonna take it. That's what I saw.
My controller literally did not respond.
That is so funny, dude. You need to do that more for comedic timing. I've seen Peanut do it where he'll grab someone as Little Mac because Little Mac's grabs so bad, and then he'll go up to his camera and go, I got you now. I love when people do that. They'll grab you for like X amount of time and then just throw you.
Really?
They waited for you on that one.
It's played dead.
Oh. I feel like you can rob another stock off. I don't know if you could do the reverse, but you could definitely rob a stock. Oh.
I don't know, if you're feeling like a cockroach, you could definitely pull the reverse.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh, that was a cinematic moment. Then you can. Oh no! Wait.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
Still standing.
Let's go. No.
Oh, shit.
No, you're done. Oh, okay. He didn't do it.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. That's the down aerial. That's the down.
Yeah, I was expecting forward air, so I caped.
Yeah. Woo! You did well, dude. You did do well.
GG's.
All right, Morbius. You have a good night. Thanks for the betrayal.
You are welcome, I guess.
Yuragiri Mono.
Okay.
Alright.
Let's let Swish get his turn back. He said he wanted to be next.
GG's, everybody.
GG's.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Oh, there we go. Oh wait, Fishy was after me. There we go.
Wait. I did lose my spot before.
Did you? I don't remember where you were.
I was behind Amon.
Oh, okay. It'd be like that.
We'll fix it later.
Yeah. Alright, so now Swish is bringing out the Terry. Let me see if I can find out anything new. How do you do the input again for the... Are you okay?
I think it's quarter circle forward twice.
Oh, is it literally just fighting game fucking knowledge there? Is that it? Just
It is fighting game knowledge, but I will fully admit, I don't know how to do it the right, so I just kind of wildly hit the stick around and pray.
I mean, I saw the flow
I
chart
think
where
the
you can do
only
the...
thing that is weird is just his
Buster
his
or
power.
whatever. Power geyser.
That's the only weird one.
Yeah, that's the one I want to do more because, like, I've done Buster Wolf, which that's not hard to do, but I don't know how to do Power Geyser consistently. But yeah, if you played fighting games, Terry, Ken, and Ryu are for you. Even though it's like very different. Like, your fighting game knowledge can only take you so far because this still is Smash.
It is still a platform fighter.
Yep.
Or a party game, depending on who you're asking.
Party game. Ah, damn. It looked like he could have actually DI'd that. Okay. Oh. Come on, you got this, Swish. Ah.
Hit him with the jab, power dunk.
Yep. Oh, no. Ooh. Oh my god, did you see how that bounced off Ronnie? Oh, okay, nice. Swish got some movement.
Some like a...
There we go.
a kickball sound effect of it bouncing off the shield.
That is not killing. Anyone here planning on doing anything with 2XKO? Oh yeah, I've been following that game. I think Malik knows about that game too, right?
Played one of the betas.
How was it? Because like people were complaining about the animations, but does the game feel good to play?
It felt fun. A little different from usual, but it was fun to play.
Okay. I want to play that game.
I'm probably going to play because it's going to be free anyway, but...
Oh yeah, are you playing that other game? I forget what it's called, but it's like a platform fighter, but it's like more of a fighting game. They made it more like a fighting game, but it's also a platform fighter. Like you got meter management.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I might. It looks interesting.
It does. I want to know if it feels as good as it looks, because like that is like mixing two genres I really like, and I wonder if they actually were able to like combine it well. Because in Smash, it feels like it's half-baked, because like, I mean, that isn't the focus in Smash anyway. This is definitely a long one.
Put him on the ropes.
Yep. I mean, I think Swish could still come back from this. Oh, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Rivals of E4
It's card,
Valhalla?
right?
No, I'm not talking about that. Let me see if I can find it. It's on my Steam wish list, so if I just search my wish list, I can tell you the name, because it's a really neat game. Alright, I don't want to sort it by discount. This item no longer exists. And I added this to the store 6 months ago. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I don't have to fight for a bit, so I'm good.
That bro's floaty and can move around.
Alright, Bomb Rush. Nope. I'll know the name of the game. The sad part is I can't remember. Ah! Combo Devils. That's what it's called. I'll actually send it to the people here in the chat as well. Combo Devils, it looks like a really cool game. Yeah, you should check this out too, Ronnie. You might like it. It's not even, like, announced. Or, well, it's announced, but there's no release date yet. But this is such a sick-looking fighting game. Like, the freaking, like, raccoon character already looks like one of my characters I want to play, and I think there's, like, some character kind of simulates boxing, too, so... Already got my character I'm picking. Oh! Well, it's Lucario, unfortunately. If it was like others, maybe it would have been like a secured stock. Oh. Oh, nice play, Fernan. Nice play. Oh. Fernan's living.
And this Lucario really is taking us to Funky Town.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm listening to Funky Town.
You are saying that because of that. Ah, damn, too low. So, Ronnie, a question for you. When are you usually available?
I'm available anytime as long as you ask, unless I say otherwise.
Oh no, Fernan!
That is the best way I could put it.
Y'all play some Sonic
I'm
Racing
always available
Crossroads?
unless I am not.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And yes, I have
Just
played...
all you do is ask, and then I'll give you your
okay.
answer.
I'll keep that in mind, because the reason I ask is because once I go back to work, because I'm like off until like Sunday, it'll probably be after 8 p.m. I do the Smash stream, since I go to work, get home around 4, and then go to the boxing gym shortly after, and then after 8, hopefully I'm awake enough to even play Smash. I'll probably be playing fucking piss poor for a while until I get used to it. But yes, I have played Crossworlds. I'm pretty sure Malik has played it, right?
I played it. I played the demo
playing
a couple days ago.
That shit was fun.
Are you actually gonna buy it?
Yeah,
I
gonna
mean,
buy it anyway, but...
What about you, Ronnie?
I might. Again, maybe depends on if Zeke's gonna get it. But,
Oh, you gotta make sure it's guaranteed. You don't want to be bored if Zeke doesn't have it.
well, I mean, not even that. I just need people to play it with, generally. So, I mean, if you're getting it, then I'll probably get it.
Oh, I am. I'm just waiting until it gets closer to release date before I, like, pre-order it. I'm waiting until, like, a week. Because, like, I hate buying games early. Because I'm looking at it in my library, and I'm like, I want to play this now.
God damn it. I went too low.
Yeah. I'm buying Crossworlds when it's on sale because Canadian prices. Oh yeah, that's right, Switch, you're freaking Canadian! You're never getting a Switch 2, are you? You're never getting a Switch 2! Oh no!
God, I almost called it Canada. Yeah, that sucks.
Switch is Canada now. Oh, nice back here.
Damn.
Yeah, this is when Joker can cook, when he has his persona.
When he has his win button.
Yahoo!
Oh, Fernie,
Got
thank you for
too many
subscribing.
ads today.
You got too many ads today. Oh, so that's why you subscribed. Thank you. Thanks for the support, but also screw Twitch because they made you do this. It sucks because I want Air Riders. Oh, dude, I believe it. I'm also getting Air Riders. Like, I know that
I am
game's gonna be
100% getting Air Riders, whether or not Zeke is getting it.
fun. I do want to play some
Kirby Air Ride
more...
was my shit.
I want to play some more Prison Cross with you and Zeke, and also Smash Crusade.
Sure, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I just hope that doesn't trip up my fucking game plan of practicing Smash, because those games are fundamentally very different.
Not that different.
Well, Crusade feels a little bit more in line with, like, regular Smash, but Prism Cross literally feels like they added fighting game elements into a platform fighter, and you, like, can cancel your moves.
Yeah, I did actually try Prism Cross, so the shit was kinda interesting.
It's very jank, but not in a bad way. It's just like,
Yeah.
do not play that game seriously. I literally play that for the fuck of it, but Crusade I play a little bit more serious, because, like, Little Mac feels so awkward, but he recovers so nicely in that game. Oh yeah, did you play Little Mac in that? In Crusade?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna say, did you... Okay.
Crusade, yes, not Prism Cross.
He's not in Prism Cross, or I would be just playing him in Prism Cross. He'd probably be cracked in Prism Cross. Which moveset did you like? Official or their imagined version?
I remember I messed around with the Imagined version when it first came out. It was pretty alright.
I liked it for what it was, because, like, they kept it as, like, actual boxer's moveset, but, like, his range was very limited. Unlike, like, Smash.
Alright, I'm gonna be back to reliable.
The one they had is very, like, the one that they made of their own was very funny to mess with, though.
Oh, dude, the one mechanic I couldn't get down, because, like, his neutral was, like, doing his little uppercut thing, and then if you comboed it into your up B, you had, like, a chance of killing very early. That's how you had to do, like, your quote-unquote knockout punch.
Yeah. I didn't know that for a long time until I accidentally did it.
Oh, I was messing around with all my options, and I'm like, oh, I can do neutral B into fucking up B, and if you do that, like, near the top, they're just fucking dead. Also, his side B's really good with, like, the Smash Crusade moveset, too.
All of his aerials are really good, too.
Oh, yeah, dude, he actually spikes in that game. That's the most hilarious part about that.
Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night here.
Oh, you are? I was hoping to go against you one more time.
Then I can wait a little longer.
Okay.
I mean, that's if you get the Lucario guy out of there.
Oh yeah, the guy who's in chat, Lucario, after you get done with Fishy, I want to have a round with everybody one more time and then closing the arena, because I gotta go to bed. I mean, I'm not actually sleeping, but I gotta end the stream.
I was actually gonna go because Zeke wanted to talk.
Oh, I see how it is.
You can wait a bit
I'm not
longer.
important to you anymore. Actually, no, Zeke was here first.
Well, it's not even that. Zeke just got off work.
Oh, I was saying for the fact that you two were friends first, so he takes priority. You know, I was trying to, like, surprise Zeke, like, I think a week or two ago, because, like, me and my girl, like, went to Applebee's, but he wasn't working. I was so sad.
Ah, that sucks.
Make sure to go tell him that when you go talk to him, because, like, we did try to see him.
Damn, how unfortunate.
Yeah, I just wanted to go, hey, Zeke, let's play Smash tonight. I'll, like, be like, hey, what time you get off? And he'll be like, bet. Hey, Malik.
What?
You've heard of Riptide. You had to have, right?
Yeah, I know Riptide.
Do you want to go to that next year? Not this year, because it's literally happening, like, this fucking weekend. But do you want to try to go to that?
I'd have to see how money is.
Okay, because tickets, at least I saw for this year, I don't know, because inflation will probably be different in the span of a year, but tickets are $85 for, like, a whole year. I mean, what did I say for a whole year? $85 for 3 days. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, money.
Yeah, you know what's even more insane about Riptide? It's $60 just to spectate. Imagine you, like, invited some friends with you and it's like, hey, I want you to watch my matches, but you have to pay $60 to watch.
That's wild.
Yeah, they're really fucking squeezing the money out of you.
I mean, I know it's one of the bigger Smash tournaments.
It is. You know what that means? We would probably meet Peanut. You have to know Peanut, like the freaking godlike Little Mac.
Yeah, I know.
That would actually be cool seeing him in person.
That's if he's going to, though.
True.
haven't seen him in tournaments for a good bit though.
He has still been streaming, like, not every day, but he's been streaming pretty consistently, and I watch his streams from time to time. He likes playing Roy, Crom, Ganon. Oh. Oh, nice catch. Ah, oh, dang. Fishy's coming close to catch him with that.
The Max Aura!
Max Aura!
Which means he's going to kill you in 3 hits.
Yeah. Get him, Fishy! Oh, damn. Oh, you almost had it, Fish. Oh.
Wait, did that hit him?
No.
Or did he bounce off the wall? He hit the wall.
Yeah, he hit the wall. That sometimes happens with Lucario when he's recovering. Come on, Fishy. Oh, shit.
Oh
my god. Oh my god, no way.
Oh no.
No
That's
way!
Awful. That was so mean.
Fishy, could you actually not move there?
I couldn't.
Fuck!
Oh no, you can't let go during that either.
Hmm.
Oh, that was
Damn.
tragic.
That's evil.
That was tragic.
Alright, I'll go against Lucario and then everybody one more time, and then that is it for tonight's first match.
Look how he massacred my boy. My girl.
Can I? Okay, I was gonna say I can just nair out of that.
You did there.
Yeah, like I was not worried. Oh, okay. Oh man, my canceled up smash would have been great there. Oh. Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, they like. All right. Ooh. All right, wait. We take that. Oh damn! Tried to time it. Oh. Man grabber. There it is. Oh man.
Oh man.
That should have killed. I'm so upset. Yeah. Ah! God. That was some nice cinematic stuff.
It's funny. You could like dash under like most of these fucking balls.
Jesus Christ. Like, I literally just need one solid hit, but they're not dying. Okay, there we go. Is that all I need to do? You said just dash?
You can, or you can just duck under it. He like crouches low enough that he doesn't really get hit sometimes. Even though Car's got one of those characters you can just kind of brute force, but that's on you. Because he can brute force it back just as much as you can.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to up you there. Unfortunate.
I think it's the first time I've genuinely seen somebody like actually play Lucario.
Oh, they got Lucario in their name for a reason.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna brush my teeth.
Well, not at the moment. I'm finishing up.
Make sure you brush your teeth.
Okay, you don't have to force yourself to stay awake. You could have went to sleep already.
Well, I wanted to watch YouTube videos about people going to dead games.
What?
He went to there.com and it was like dead, but then he found people in the game. And then he made friends.
Okay. Alright.
So
Lucario, can you step out of the ring? Gotta fight everybody
out
now.
of Vexton's life. Oh!
Hannah, go brush your teeth.
You brought up first.
Thanks for playing, Mr. Lucario.
Yeah, you're good with Lucario.
Ooh, good.
Okay, can you guys cycle back so I can get back into the ring? Alright, we'll start with Malik. Oh, okay, Unga Bunga.
I hate the Ditto, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I like the Ditto. It's literally straight boxing, and you know matches can end in like 2 minutes
This ain't
or
straight boxing. This is straight no brain cells.
less. Straight boxing. Come on, dude. You know what we gotta do.
Oh boy, I didn't know I was watching an exhibition match.
Here we go, come on. I'm not gonna play this serious at all. This is just a Ditto. Oh my god! Wait, in reference, I'm just an old fella from 64 days. If I may explain a couple of things. Oh, you've been playing for a while. God, we are finding people who've been playing this game for years. What? Okay, so Little Mac can't just get out of his own.
And all the way back in the 64 days, I'm afraid I'm a child in your eyes. I played Melee first.
Yeah.
Even then, Melee was out for like a year before I was born.
Oh.
I accidentally did the thing.
Oh no, he's gonna do the thing.
Dang. That's...
Fuck you.
I know you want to do it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh god! If it doesn't work the first time, do it again. Oh, nice. Oh. Yeah, I had to delay it. You almost had me. Well, we know you can come back. Did you see that clash? It did clash.
It clashed.
I wanted to see if I could actually do something about it. I almost could have. I don't know what frame I would have to hit on.
I just learned something.
Yeah.
I don't think I super armor there.
Oh, thank you for following Rucario. Is that how I say your name? I'd like the name.
Lucario.
Okay, Swish, I'm gonna face Bronny because he has to go because he wanted to go talk to his friend, and then we cannot face off. Alright, let me read the rest of the chat since I see some stuff was in here. The other steer shield breaks that can actually be rolled out after 13 hits of multi-hit, just like rapid jabs. Okay, so Fishy could have rolled out. And let it be the last one, that's crazy. Fishy, swap out.
Sorry, I was looking away for a second.
Oh, okay. Wait, that's how you say Lucario in Japanese. Oh.
Yeah, because they don't have
Lucario.
They don't say L's.
Oh, okay.
So like all their L's usually get replaced with R's.
Oh. Man,
So
English
instead of
sucks.
little Mac, you say little Mac.
Bro, how did that reach me?
Just keep mashing, bro. Just keep mashing. You should punch. You should punch the dog.
Okay.
I'm not even paid for my work. This isn't fair.
Yes.
I was gonna say I'm a minimum wage worker, but I don't even get paid.
Good night.
Have a good night.
I can't even get a hug from you.
I mean, here, I can give you a hug.
Yay, hug!
Alright, have a good night.
Yeah, I'll try.
Alright.
When's the Hannah training arc?
You know what's funny? The two characters that clicked with her was Jigglypuff and Rob. Isn't that kind of toxic? She doesn't even
Rob?
know that. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Oh no.
What?
I heard that.
Yeah, and?
Why is that toxic?
Oh, it's because of what people can do with
Because
those characters, Hannah.
those characters
I
hurt.
know. It's fine.
No,
I
it's
love
fine. You
playing
can,
as Rob.
you can do
The
it,
way
babe.
that he just like goes, you know, like he just spins and attacks.
Yeah, I know. You love
Alright,
that.
but Rob is no
Yeah,
buddy of
and
mine.
Then with Jigglypuff, it's all like, ha, 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 and then ha,
I will say Rob is no buddy of mine.
Also, dude, your poor shield. Holy
It was
shit.
fun beating your friend from the gaming expo.
Which one?
Ethan?
Aw, damn it.
Yeah. Whenever we were in a different state.
There we go.
That was fun.
Oh my god. Oh, okay, I was like trying to up smash like several times
Good
there.
night, Vexton's followers and fans.
Okay, yeah. Malik said goodnight.
Doing.
I was trying to grab the side of the ledge.
Ouch.
I mean, even then, you still could attack it, even though you wouldn't live. But hey.
Yeah, I was trying to tech it, but actually I could have wall jumped. Like, remember, Little Mac does have the best wall jump of the game for some
Not
fucking
from
reason.
where you, not from where you got thrown.
Nah.
Well,
trust
I had a
us.
blast. Thank you for letting me play.
Yeah, of course.
I shall see you next time, whenever that is.
Oh, I'm streaming
Cool
like
years
every
later.
day for Smash for this, so like if you want to join tomorrow, you can.
Well, sure, I'll see you tomorrow then.
All right.
Oyasa being aside.
Let's see. Oh yeah, my experiences are a combination of free time after work and fighting a lot of people in the past I don't compete much due to work. That's usually how it goes once you get older. Literally, work just takes everything. Oh. Did Ronnie leave the ring?
I don't think so. He's still in there.
I can kick him, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, I finally get to go against the Terry. Actually, hold on. If I'm gonna do this, gotta put some respect on Swish for playing his main.
Terry Little Mac kind of bad.
What?
I said Terry Little Mac kind of bad.
Oh, do you mean for
He's just
me?
you. He's just you, but better. And he kind of stuffs you out of a lot of your shit.
Yeah, Fishy kind of taught me that, but Fishy's not like, doesn't play Terry like that, so I only have like a minimal experience.
GG, guy.
Alright, see you, Ricario.
Correction. neat thing is that he shares your weakness, so, I don't know, get him off stage.
Damn,
I'm dying.
okay. Ah, damn. Ah, wrong way. Oh, damn, really? Yeah, oh, yeah, I think that's only a Terry only thing, I'm pretty sure.
Free spot dodge. Counter.
Yeah.
Because why would he need that?
Ah, I almost had it. Oh, was not trying to get up attack.
Oh no, he's gonna ask if you're okay.
Yeah. Oh my god, I went into that. Okay. God, he like read it completely. Yeah, there it is. Damn, I couldn't even take a stock off. So that's what a competent Terry looks like. Yep, Bill was correct with everything he said.
I mean, Terry Mac is just Terry Mac.
Yeah.
It's not the hardest thing to do, but it's very annoying.
Nah, I felt like I could beat him. I just never actually played Terry that was like actually good. Cause like I know there's always matchups, you gotta be aware of that shit, but like you can beat any character. It's just like how much more work do you have to put in versus the other character is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, too much.
Well,
I remember, that's the one I do remember, is that I remember I did fight fucking Swish with when we did Terry Mac a lot. That shit was just annoying. Because it's like, either I'm getting stuffed out of my shit for something I should be winning, or, well, he's just eating me for like, 3 hits and I'm dead. But honestly, that's just like every Mac matchup of the day.
It really is.
Terry is just better, Little Mac. That's why I play Terry sometimes.
Yeah. God, I hate getting killed like that.
It happens. The unfortunate case of being Little Mac.
Yeah. I still like the player. It doesn't... I mean, not the player. I still like playing the character anyway. I don't care if I gotta go against all that adversity.
Ken? Ain't he pretty decent? Pretty sure.
Yeah, Ken does have like a lot of cool combos. Ah, oh, damn it. He did the up air this time. man. Little Mac, the character you gotta put a lot of work in with.
Yeah.
Tonight definitely did feel a lot more productive than yesterday, so I'm thankful for that. Fun times. Malik, why don't you play Smash anymore? Is it just because you got other things you do?
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like you didn't drop it because you didn't dislike the game, just like other stuff gets in the way.
No, I didn't drop it because I did. It was just because other stuff was coming out. I'm playing other shit. And I didn't really... Like, I only really touched the game. And, like, after a while, it only got to a point where I was only touching the game if, like, somebody asked me to.
Yeah.
Or, like, they just wanted to play. And I don't really have a group like that anymore. Because the one group I did have, they kind of stopped.
I mean, hey, you can play with us, at least, like, for the month.
They kind of had their little split there. And then, especially now, I can't do it because, well, I got a job. And, like, if I'm off, yeah, sure. But if I'm not, I don't know.
Oh, is that why you were able to play tonight?
Yeah, I'm off.
Wait, are you off again, or?
No, I work tomorrow, or later today, technically, in my time.
Right, wait, what time is it for you? You're still, like, in September 2nd, aren't you?
I'm in 3rd. It's like
right,
1 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're not that far behind me. It's Fishy. That's still in the past. Oh, yeah, Switch, if you're still on the chat, how did you find the stream? Because I saw you hopped on from YouTube first. Did you just randomly see it? It's like, smash! I gotta smash these boys! I gotta make sure to drink some water before I go to bed, because Jesus Christ, I feel dehydrated. I still have that same problem, Malik. I don't know if you remember when we lived together, but like in my room, my computer just makes the room cook.
Oh, don't worry, mine does the same thing.
Yeah, this is something I don't normally do. I don't like streaming Smash, because like so far, I'm gonna keep a count on this. So far, I've had 2 people already show up that have like over 1,000 hours in the game and it's rocked us. It's still a great experience, but I'm sure everyone shares the same sentiment. When you're getting rocked like that, it feels very frustrating. I just try to look at it as a learning opportunity because like I'm just inexperienced. That's just what it comes down to, but it's still frustrating all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the fighting game curse. Cause like, I entered a Street Fighter 6 tourney back in July. I got to top 5 or whatever. There wasn't that many people that signed up, only like 12 people, but I mean, still not bad, I guess. But like, the guy I became friends with, like, at the tourney, because I met him last year, but we didn't exchange contact info. He is like so crazy good, and he could like play pretty much almost anybody. Like, when somebody's at that point in a fighting game, you know just not to fuck with them because, like, the fundamentals is just so strong. And I'm just like, damn, I'm probably never going to get to this point because I just don't pour the time into, like, fighting games like that anymore. Because, like, there's so many games I want to play. And fighting games is a time sink. You have to commit all the way or you just don't. Because if you try to play it casually, it's best to do that with friends. If you try to, like, go online and play with randoms, you can have a good time, maybe like 25% of the time. I feel like I'm kind of like giving that number a little too high because it's usually infuriating fighting randoms.
That was me with fighters.
Dude, I remember taking fighters seriously before it became broke. Like back when I really liked playing the game and I never landed a TOD. I think I came close and that was by accident. I
did one. I did one to. I don't know if you remember Duke.
Yeah, I remember Duke.
Yeah, I did it to him.
Oh, he must have been.
And it wasn't. It wasn't on purpose. I really wasn't trying to do it because like they're not like when I was playing it because it was Duke and it was Rico and we were just playing just to play And you know how like they get when it comes to me playing this versus them, and they're not that good. I'm not trying to try. I really don't try to try. But I was just kind of in the feeling,
Yeah.
and I just kept going
Oh
and
no.
going and going. Then he died.
Yeah, you're right about that though, Swish. Yeah, once you're just constantly losing, you don't feel like you're learning. That's why I'm like trying different segments every day to like further my Smash prowess, cuz like I need to be better, and you can always get better every single day. That's also why I love practicing boxing, cuz I wouldn't say I call myself a boxer. I was like doing some research. I guess you only call yourself a boxer whenever you're competing, but I practice boxing is what I can say. So I go to like a boxing gym and everything in my free time. So I could throw hands with somebody in real life if I ever need to. Like I can now not like spit out hot air. I actually can beat your ass. I never will because I don't like inflicting violence on somebody. But I also am not going to be defenseless. If you try to mess with me, you are going to get fucked up. And a street fight, the best thing to do, run away. You do not want to fight because literally out there, there's no rules. They could freaking shoot you in a second, pull a knife on you, do anything.
Knife.
Yeah. Plus, if you're like really good at your aim and stuff, because boxing's all about precision and timing, you just need to hit them in the right spot, and then you can just they're done. That's why it's always so intriguing watching boxing video game characters to see like how well they like make that character fight. So like a good example for a fighting game character, Bullrog. Got all the boxing fundamentals down. But then someone I really like watching, Dudley. He literally is the essence of boxing, because Bullrog is like more of just like boom, 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 unga bunga, because like he's just all about brute strength. But Dudley actually got it down to like the technical standard. So playing Dudley's even more fun than playing Bullrog. And then you got Ed. He got some fucking like psycho power. So like he can grab you out of the air and then combine it with his like crazy boxing. And then you got Steve Fox from Tekken. He is also just really fun to play. I love weaving people's punches and then just immediately getting a counter punch and then you go off on them. I'm not good at combos in Tekken, but it's still fun playing Steve Fox anyway.
Combos. I let them do that shit for free.
Who do you even play in Tekken?
Clive.
Damn it. I'm so sorry.
It was King.
King is just Uggumbaga, because grapple.
It was King, and I did try to find somebody else, and I think it was the coffee chick.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but it's the coffee chick. It was her.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the coffee chick.
And then Clive happened, and then I was like, well, fuck these two. I want Clive.
Yeah, even though he's so fucking slow, you pretty much gotta punish people perfect with him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that name, Swish, but yeah, that's the character Malik was talking about for the coffee girl. And you play Huarang. I actually love the interaction, because Steve Fox and him have an interaction. He's like, you would, if this was, I forget how it goes, but like, he's just like, if you were talking, you would win or something. I haven't played Tekken 8 in a hot minute. Tekken 7 was fun. Also, messing with Akuma players, because most Akuma players in that game is literally, they're just trying to play Street Fighter. Then you move to the side and they're like, what the fuck? Because they don't move to the side in their game. You can actually move on a 3D plane!
Yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah. You can literally just step out of the way of Hadokens. Like, Hadokens are so fucking useless in Tekken. Can't you duck under a Hadokens, I think?
I don't think so.
Okay, I thought you
I don't
could.
know. I have not played 7 in forever. And when I was, it was only in like the first year. And then I kind of stopped.
You can't duck Akuma? Okay. I know you can shift to the side with Steve Fox, like do his like signature ducks, because that's like what his foot buttons are, is like just shifting to the side, and then he gets shoulder bash you and start a combo.
It's Akuma's not throwing Hadokens in neutral anyway. Yeah, like what he said, there is literally just combo filler.
But dude, The thing I love doing with Steve Fox, and he can do this, I think, in every game, is like he does his little weave back move, and then he just like hits you right in the solar plexus, and then you get like a crazy combo going. God, that's so satisfying getting off on a match. Love hitting him in the freaking liver. Body. 1, 2.
Body. Well, anyway, I'm a dip because I'm gonna be playing something with somebody else.
Oh, so,
GG's.
so mean. All right, you have a good one.
You too. See you, Swish, or yeah, whatever.
Yep. But yeah, Switch, if you ever want to join again, definitely can, man. And to anybody else who's also watching in chat, because I see we got people still watching. I'm surprised you guys are still here. I'm just like blathering now. We're not even playing the game anymore.
Why are you surprised?
Because I don't know. More people come to play the game instead of listening to me talk. Oh yeah, Fishy, did you like that segment at the beginning of the stream? Where we were just watching videos and educating ourselves?
Yeah, because now I know what to rewatch on my own time.
Yeah,
to make sure I really get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually practice those, like, SDIs, LSIs, and everything, because, like, getting out of Steve's, like, jab, I did not know you could actually get out. I thought it was just screwed. The Hero and the Marth will be... Oh, I play a little bit of Hero, too. He's so slow, but I still like playing him, because I really like the design for the Hero from Dragon Quest VIII. I think that's the one with the red bandana. Because, like, I played a little bit of that game, and I just love his design. Like, if I go to Hero right now, where is he? There he is. Like, this is
One of Hero's strengths is the unpredictability, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen somebody fucking, like, they were playing so well. It was on Crook Play. And they, I made the mistake of reading their menu with them. So they had, like, more than enough time to use options on me. And I'm like, why the fuck am I reading their menu like I'm playing Hero? Like, I just need to go up and punch them. But I fell into the trap of reading their menu every time they stopped.
Yeah, you were giving them their tone, like you were playing an RPG.
Yeah, I literally, like, it was so funny. You know what? I'm gonna do a quick play match real quick just to see, like, who I run into with Hero. I don't, like, play Hero like that, but Hero is just, like, literally, like, it's luck the character, and that's essentially what I am. I'm a very lucky individual. So let's see what I can pull out of my ass here, and then we'll end the stream. Now talking about Hero makes me want to play him. Yeah, I only got Little Mac to Elite Smash. I never actually played the game enough to get more characters to Elite. But that's the only one that's in Elite right now. Alright, wish me luck, gents. Let me pull up my characters.
Oh, dude.
Man. Oh, Piranha Plant. Well.
There's a Sonic here.
You're going to get Sonic? Okay. Oh, yeah. This is Plant Things. Dang, I'm actually doing pretty well. What the fuck? Oh, damn! Oh, I thought I could hit him after that. Okay, I cannot. Oh, I could heal. Oh, they tried to do that thing where, like, they hide in the smoke and then, don't get me. Oh. Woo! Oh my god, that back air is so slow. I have to get used to his back air being slow. It's actually slower than Little Mac's, funny enough. Ooh. I knew he was gonna do something, but I think it's since I got a normal get-up option, I just was like, yeah. Oh, he got hit by his own move! I don't think he realized that bounce on. Oh, there we go. The panic roll. Get him every time. Oh, okay. Oh, he went into it! Yes! Oh my god, magic first. Oh, let's go! I got it! Holy shit, why am I'm doing decent. Ah, damn. Oh. Ah, damn, missed it. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay, that can actually go through the platform. Okay, up tilt. Oh, I almost got him with Hatchet Man. Hatchet Man is a cool move. I forgot about my other moves just because I kept on using down B. Oh, I almost got him with whack. No way. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, okay. Oh, wait. I could actually use Kamikaze. Holy shit. Ooh, okay. Oh, no! Oh, no! No! Did you guys see that? He rolled into it! Oh! That person made me look like I was good with Hero. I'm not. Alright, I'll at least give them the rematch. I don't want to, like, just do a one and done to somebody. I know I said one more match, but we'll see if they leave or not. Okay, they do want to do it. Mario, Marth, Lucina, Roy, Chrom, Pit, Sonic, Wolf, Cloud, Terry, and Sora. Dang, you played a lot of Smash then, because, like, I know Elite Smash is just literally grinding. Like, you do have to be good to some extent to get there, but you just have to grind. Oh, yeah, I have armor on that. Okay, that's too slow. Okay, I think I can still make it back. Yep. Oh, okay, nice. Oh, okay. Oh, that was nice. Okay, there we go. Oh. Ah, no two frame. I wonder why they did that. Oh, they ran into it. Alright, let's see. Do bounce.
It's blue rat, bro.
I got a good spike there. Hero is also an elite for me. Elite is very much grind, especially with that delay. Yeah, you can't tune for even down smash, I believe. You can with Little Mag, but I guess you can't with Hero. Only down tilt. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ah, gotta spike. Spiking is always still satisfying, no matter who you're playing. Dang, is Hero gonna get to Elite Smash, boys? Oh, the average for everybody, at least for the characters I haven't played, is like 12 million GSP. Oh yeah, I did play Sora on Quick Play. Okay. Okay, Pyra and Mifra being at like 8 million GSP makes sense. They're so easy to play and I hate it. I just really like Pyra. Alright guys, that is it for the stream. It's always so fun. I really wish I could play longer, but I need to play earlier in the day. Anyways, everyone, you have a wonderful night.